cafeteria after getting their lunch, they saw a man running towards them in a hurry, sweating profusely, holding a lunchbox and an enamel pot. "Wife, how are you? Are you still in pain?" The pregnant woman was no longer in pain at this time. She leaned back on the hospital bed, looking a little listless. "Wife, are you hungry? I made some chicken soup for you. Please drink some," the man said as he opened the enamel pot and took out a spoon to scoop up the chicken soup and feed it to his wife. As the pregnant woman drank, she suddenly started to cry and complained, "Why are you so late?" The man apologized. "I'm sorry, it's my fault. There was a problem with the machine in the factory last night. It took until mid-morning to fix it. I got off work late and I thought you should eat something good after giving birth, so I bought a chicken to make soup for you. Don't worry, the factory has approved 3 days of leave for me, and I can accompany you during these 3 days." The pregnant woman felt better. Seeing the man sweating, she wiped him with a handkerchief and asked, "Have you eaten?" "I'm not hungry, you eat first." The man said this, but he did not stop feeding the girl with chicken soup. His wife suffered a lot by marrying him. The pregnant woman held the man's hand and took the enamel pot herself. "I'll do it myself, you eat quickly." This man must have been hungry for most of the day. "At first, I married him because he was honest and kind to me. Otherwise, who would be willing to marry an orphan like him who had no one to help him when he got into trouble?" The man saw that his wife insisted on eating by herself. He opened the lunch box he brought and started to eat. Maybe because the man came, the pregnant woman relaxed and even took a nap. In the afternoon, the pain probably intensified and the pregnant woman cried out in pain from time to time. The man was so anxious that he ran around and asked the nurse to come over from time to time. At around 2 o'clock, the pregnant woman was also pushed to the delivery room. The pregnant woman left, Aunt Wu and her daughter came back. Wu was holding the child with a big smile on her face, and Li Yue hurried forward to congratulate her. Wu smiled so hard that her teeth showed. She showed the child to Li Yue and said, "Look at this child. He is so fair-skinned and has beautiful eyebrows and eyes. He will be very handsome when he grows up." Suemo took a look and found that it was indeed not that red. The little girl is still the best. She knows how to love her mother, and she didn't suffer much. From the time the water broke to the birth, it was only more than 4 hours, but the baby in the next bed was in pain for a whole day. Li Yue also followed suit and praised it a few words. After showing off the child, Aunt Wu put the baby on the bed and thought about getting something to eat for her daughter. However, her daughter went into the delivery room without even having lunch. When she saw the empty counter, Aunt Wu's face instantly turned dark. "Sister Li, is there anyone coming to bring us lunch this afternoon?" Li Yue shook her head. "I don't see anyone coming here." Wu gritted her teeth in hatred. This old hag. Then he said to Li Yue, "Sister Li, please help look after my daughter and granddaughter. I'm going to buy some food." Li Yue waved her hand. "Okay, go ahead. Every family has its own problems." The girl just now looked pitiful, but her man really cared about her. Wu's family is happier than others because they have their mother by their side, but their husband's family doesn't care about them or say anything, and they don't even send them food. Wu's daughter was so angry that she cried when she saw that she was working so hard to give birth to a baby, but her mother-in-law didn't even send her food. "My girl, don't cry. Crying during the confinement period will damage your eyes," Li Yue quickly advised. "Are you hungry? Auntie will make you some brown sugar water first." As she said that, Li Yue took the man's enamel pot, scooped some brown sugar, and made some brown sugar water. "Thank you, Auntie." Wu thanked her. She was indeed hungry, and giving birth was very tiring. Wu came back about an hour later, and she didn't look very well. At this time, the hospital cafeteria had already run out of food. She had specially gone to the state-owned restaurant to cook white flour dumplings. In the evening, another pregnant woman came back after giving birth, also a girl. Although the man's movements were a little stiff while holding the child, he could not hide the joy on his face, and his mouth corners were grinning to the back of his ears. However, the couple were both novices and did not know how to take care of children. They were quite flustered for a while. It was only after Li Yue and Aunt Wu came over and gave them some pointers that they were able to get the hang of it. When it was time for dinner, Su Mo and the others went to the cafeteria to get food. Aunt Wu saw that her in-laws had not shown up yet and was afraid that they would not deliver food in the evening, so she followed them. The man had to take care of his wife and daughter, so he gave the money to Li Yue and asked her to help him get a portion. The food in this hospital was about the same price as the commune canteen, and you could eat quite well for only 40 or 50 cents. On the way to the cafeteria, Aunt Wu also wiped away her tears. Her in-laws were really too annoying. Sister Li, I originally thought that the person in the bed next to me was pitiful, but now it seems that my daughter is the most pitiful one. Luckily I'm here. Otherwise who knows what would have happened to my daughter. She wouldn't even be able to get a husband after giving birth to a child. My son-in-law seemed okay before, but when I compared him with your son, I realized he wasn't a good person either. He knew what kind of person his mother was, but he didn't even take a leave to visit his family when his wife gave birth. The salary he usually sends is also in his mother's hands. My daughter doesn't see a penny. I don't know what blinded that girl that she insisted on marrying him. Li Yue also sighed. It was amazing that her husband's family would go to such lengths. Around 9 o'clock in the evening, Lu Changzheng came hurriedly again. He was relieved to see that Su Mo was still fine and had not given birth yet. He was really worried today, fearing that his wife would give birth during this period and he would not be around. Wu saw Lu Changzheng coming. Her eyes were filled with envy. It is true that if you compare yourself to others, you will die. If you compare goods, you will throw them away. Her in-laws haven't sent her any food yet. Fortunately, she got some food in the evening, otherwise she would have gone hungry. When her daughter came home from the hospital, she insisted on going to her house and tearing her apart. It was rare for a mother-in-law to be so mean. After Lu Changzheng arrived, he first took Li Yue to a guest house near the hospital and booked a room for her to sleep in. Then he returned to the hospital to accompany his wife. The next day, the doctor examined the two women and found that there was nothing serious wrong with them, so he notified them that they could be discharged from the hospital. The husband of the couple thought that he could take better care of his wife at home, so he agreed and went with the doctor to complete the discharge procedures. Wu was so angry that she said she would stay in the hospital for another day. She wanted to see if her mother-in-law would come today. They were also admitted to the hospital early yesterday morning. If her in-laws felt that the birth was not so soon and she didn't come yesterday, she would have reluctantly tolerated it. But if she didn't come today, it would be unacceptable. If she doesn't come today, she will go to her daughter's house after she finishes the confinement period and help her daughter divide the family. Su Mo had nothing to do in the ward. With the baby around, no one dared to speak too loudly. Su Mo and Lu Changzheng went out and walked around the hospital. Although hospitals at that time did not have garden-style leisure areas like those in later generations, they also had some places for patients to move around. In the afternoon, another pregnant woman came to another bed. This pregnant woman was not about to give birth, but she had some spotting, so she came to the hospital to protect the fetus. It was obvious that this pregnant woman came from a well-off family, and she was a darling of everyone. 7 or 8 people from her natal family and her husband's family came together to send her here. When she left, they all comforted her, saying how much she had suffered. Stayed behind to take care of the pregnant woman was the mother of the pregnant woman. She was wearing a linen suit and looked very well-mannered. She was probably a cadre. Wu's daughter is a crybaby. She can be scared to tears by the slightest noise. She was just scolded by a group of people and is now crying nonstop. The pregnant woman was so noisy that she turned to Aunt Wu and said, "Aunt, can you take the child out to comfort him? This noise is making me nervous." Wu was very angry because her in-laws didn't show up today and the child kept crying, so she refused to do it. It's windy in the corridor. How can a child be exposed to the wind? If you guys hadn't been making so much noise just now, would she have cried like this? We were just talking normally, there was no quarrel. It's your child who is timid, don't blame us. If you use something to block the wind, it won't you. I'm here to protect the fetus. If this child causes any problems, can you bear the responsibility? Wu is so angry. Hey, are you unreasonable? How am I unreasonable? It's you who is unreasonable.
I
The pregnant woman's mother came back from getting the water. She saw her daughter arguing with someone. She quickly scolded the person to stop arguing, then apologized and said nice things to her while going to the corridor with Aunt Wu to coax the baby. Wu didn't want to argue with them anymore. She was mainly angry, and now that she had a way out, she naturally backed down. Wu saw that her mother was angry because of her. She started to wipe away her tears again. Lu Chongjing frowned as he looked at the noisy ward. This seriously affects my wife's rest. He had to find a way to transfer to a single room. At night, Wu's daughter's daughter cried even louder, making it impossible for everyone to sleep. The pregnant woman who was trying to protect the fetus almost went crazy and almost quarreled with Aunt Wu several times, but was persuaded by her mother. Lu Chongjing became more determined to find someone to move to a single room. However, before Lu Chongjing had time to find someone, the doctor came to Su Mo early in the morning. He said that there were not enough beds and she was still not feeling well, so he asked her to leave the hospital first and come back when she felt better. Su Mo was just about to speak when the baby in her belly suddenly moved slightly, and then she felt a warm current flowing out from her lower body. Su Mo smiled awkwardly. Doctor, my water broke. Doctor. This break is really timely. Hurry up and lie down. Put a cushion under your body to prevent the amniotic fluid from getting the bed wet. The doctor said, and then told Lu Chongjing if she doesn't start to have stomach pain after 2 hours, come back to me. Lu Chongjing nodded quickly, helped Su Mo lie down, and took a cushion for her to lie on. To be honest, his wife is about to give birth, and he is a little panicked. After the doctor finished speaking to Su Mo, he went to Wu Ginu, hoping to get her discharged from the hospital. But Wu Ginu was depressed and hadn't slept the whole night, and now she had a fever. Doctor. Well, this one can't be discharged from the hospital. Su Mo lay there for more than an hour without any sign of stomachache. Lu Chongjing was extremely nervous and kept looking at his watch, which made Li Yue extremely nervous as well. Su Mo was also a little nervous. She was about to open the blind box, and she didn't know if there was a boy or a girl inside. It would be best if there was a boy and a girl, so that she could have both a son and a daughter. Suddenly, a feeling similar to the urge to defecate came over Su Mo. She instinctively felt that something was coming out, so she quickly grabbed Lu Chongjing's hand and said, "Quick, go call a doctor." Lu Chongjing had been extremely anxious. If Li Yue hadn't held him down, he would have gone to find a doctor long ago. Now, after hearing Su Mo's words, he quickly ran out. Lu Chongjing rushed directly to the doctor's office and called the doctor over. The doctor came over to check and was also shocked. He quickly said to Lu Chongjing, "Go and ask the nurse to push the bed. The baby is about to be born." Lu Chongjing hurried out again to call for a nurse. The doctor couldn't help but admire Su Mo's calm expression. This pregnant woman looked so delicate and tolerant. She didn't even make a sound, even though her was dilated to 10 fingers. When the nurse pushed the bed in and heard the doctor say that there was already 10 fingers dilated, she pushed the bed and rushed to the delivery room. Lu Chongjing quickly followed, and cold sweat began to appear on his forehead. "Wife, does it hurt?" Lu Chongjing held Su Mo's hand tightly. Compared to Su Mo, he seemed more like the one who was about to give birth. Su Mo shook her head. "It doesn't hurt." "Wife, if it hurts, just scream it out. Don't bear it." How could it not hurt? He spent a whole day with his wife in the hospital and saw several people crying in pain. Su Mo didn't know what was going on. She really didn't feel any pain at all. The several connected wards were all occupied by pregnant women who were about to give birth, and one could often hear their cries of pain. After Su Mo was pushed into the delivery room, Lu Chongjing and Li Yue, who was holding the delivery bag, waited outside. Lu Chongjing couldn't sit still, so he stood up and kept walking around. "Third brother, please don't leave. You're making me dizzy. Come and sit down and wait." Lu Chongjing came over and sat down, but just as he sat down he stood up again and said, "Mom, I'm scared." Li Yue smiled. "What are you afraid of?" "Xiaoma is in good spirits, it's okay." Seeing that he was sweating profusely, she said, "Go wash your face quickly. When the child comes out later, Don't let the child think that his father is a scumbag at first sight. Lu Chongjing wiped it with a handkerchief, not caring much. Although he didn't leave, he didn't sit down either. Instead, he stood there staring at the door of the delivery room. His wife is suffering in there. What right does he have to sit there? As soon as Su Mo and the others left, Su Yun, carrying a large bag and a small bag, arrived at the hospital. After asking the front desk for Su Mo's room number, he hurried to the ward. As a result, when he arrived at the ward, he did not find Su Mo. So he asked Aunt Wu, "Old comrade, is Su Mo staying in this ward?" Wu's mouth twitched and she said, "Yes, who are you?" "I'm her brother. Do you know where she is now?" "She just went into the delivery room to give birth," said Aunt Wu.
What?
Su Yun was startled and quickly turned around and walked away. After asking the nurse the location of the delivery room, he ran away as fast as he could. His whirlwind-like figure attracted the attention of several people. When Su Yun ran to the door of the delivery room, he just happened to see the nurse coming out to ask the family members to sign the consent form. "Who is Sumo's family member?" the nurse called out. Before Lu Chongjing could even open his mouth, Su Yun rushed over, howling miserably. I. Doctor, save the doctor. Save the doctor." When the nurse heard Su Yun's words, the corners of her mouth twitched. But seeing that he was a soldier and he looked exhausted and was carrying a lot of things, he probably just got here. Just as I was about to explain, I saw another tall and handsome soldier walking towards me quickly. "Comrade nurse, I am Sumo's relative. I am her lover. May I ask what happened to my wife?" The nurse's eyes lit up with gossip, and she had a feeling that something was wrong. She looked between the two of them. "Which one of you is the family member?" I'm her brother."
I am her lover.
The two said in unison. The nurse's heart instantly sank. Fortunately, it was not a problem of work style. The mother is healthy and in good spirits. There won't be any problems. Family members don't need to worry too much. This is the informed consent form. Come, husband, sign it. After the nurse finished speaking, she gave the consent form to Lu Chongjing to sign. Lu Chongjing signed it quickly. At this moment, a shrill scream suddenly came from the delivery room, scaring both of them. Lu Chongjing threw his pen away and wanted to rush in, shouting "Wife." The nurse was quick to grab him and yelled, "What are you doing? What are you doing? This is the delivery room. How can you enter?" Lu Chongjing's face turned pale, and he asked, "Was that my wife screaming just now? Was she in pain?" "It's not your wife. She's fine. She'll probably give birth soon." It was the first time she had seen someone so calm after entering the delivery room. She had seen many people who could endure the pain, but most people would break out in cold sweats and have veins popping out. However, this person seemed like nothing was wrong. Either his pain nerves are slow, or he is a capable person. "Where are the child's clothes? Bring them in for me," asked the nurse. Li Yue quickly gave the prepared small clothes to the nurse, all of which were made of newly torn floral cotton cloth. The nurse took the things and was about to go in, but was stopped by Su Yun. "Comrade nurse, tell my sister not to be afraid. Tell her that her brother is here." "Okay." After the nurse came in, Lu Chongjing greeted Su Yun, "Second brother." Su Yun snorted coldly and glanced at Lu Chongjing. He really looked like a human. Lu Chongjing was also observing Su Yun. This second brother looked really like his wife, like real siblings. Su Yun and Su Mo both look like their grandmother, and they are 40% similar in appearance. When they were young, many people thought they were siblings. "Second brother, how come you're here so soon?" "According to the time, the earliest that the second uncle can arrive is tomorrow morning. I was lucky, I caught a flight to Harbin," Su Yun said calmly. In fact, in order to catch this flight, his family had to waste a lot of favors. "However, I was lucky to have taken the plane, otherwise I would have missed my younger sister's birth." Seeing Li Yue beside Lu Chongjing, Su Yun quickly smiled and greeted her. "Is this Aunt Lu? My mother misses you so much, so she asked me to say hello for her. You can treat your brother-in-law coldly, but try not to offend your in-laws."
I'm Fine.
"How about your mother? Is she in good health too? Li Wei quickly started the greeting. She's very nice. She also said that if there's a chance in the future, she'll let you go to Guangxi province and show you around. Okay, when the children grow up, I will go with them to visit great-grandmother. Li Yue said with a smile. I was wondering, there was no movement after 2 days in the hospital. How come it suddenly started? It turns out that the children knew that the second uncle was coming, so they hurried out to see him. Li Yue is also a good talker. Su Yuan was overjoyed when he heard this. It seemed that his nephews really liked him as an uncle. His worried heart was also relieved a lot. After Su Mo entered the delivery room, she soon felt that the baby was about to come out stronger. She quickly called the doctor, who told her that she was about to give birth. The nurse went out to ask for signature. Su Mo was already on the delivery bed. There was no need for the doctor to give any instructions. Not long after she was on the delivery bed, the baby's head started to come out on its own. In less than 10 minutes, the first baby was born. It's a girl. The doctor was also stunned when she saw the baby. In all her years of medical practice, this was the first time she had seen such a beautiful baby. Other babies are red and wrinkled when they are born, but this child is not only fair and tender, but also has very delicate features, especially her eyes, which are big and bright. As soon as she was born, she knew to open her eyes and look at her. This baby is so cute, the midwife also exclaimed. The midwife's voice woke the doctor, who quickly cut the umbilical cord and handed the baby to the midwife to clean. There's one more, try harder, the doctor said to Su Mo. Yeah, okay.
Play.
In fact, she didn't know how to use all the strength. She felt that the baby came out on its own. While Su Mo was pushing hard as the doctor instructed, she was also trying to communicate with the person inside through her thoughts, telling him that it was his turn and that it was time to come out. Sure enough, after a while, the feeling of giving birth came back. The doctor also said that we had seen the end, and we should keep trying. This production experience is probably unprecedented and will never be repeated. After a while, the child came out too. It's a boy. She is still as pretty as a girl, delicate and beautiful. Congratulations, you have a boy and a girl, twins. Both children are very healthy. The girl is the eldest, and the boy is the second. Okay, thank you, doctor. You've worked hard. Su Mo thanked him. The doctor waved his hand. You're welcome. Such a harmonious and quiet delivery. He was not quite used to it, and always felt that something was missing. Suddenly, the doctor's eyes widened. The child didn't cry. Oh my God, such a cute pair of children. Could they be mute? The doctor rushed over and said to the midwife, Quick, spank them and make them cry. As she said this, she picked up the cleaned girl and was about to spank her. But as soon as she raised her hand, the girl howled perfunctorily. The boy saw his sister howling. He also howled a few times. Doctor. Aren't these two kids so smart? She had heard from an old doctor before that some children are born with memories of their past lives, but they gradually forget them as they grow older. She didn't believe it before, but after seeing these two children, she suddenly began to believe it. Otherwise, how do we explain why these two children are so good-looking and so smart? Washing the child and dressing him, the nurse took the child out. Seeing a child being carried out, several families waiting at the door all stood up, hoping that it was their own child. Sumo's family, the baby was born, a boy and a girl, a sister and a brother. The three of them hurried forward. When the other family members heard that it was twins, they all looked at them with envy. At the same time, they also sighed that the birth was so fast. This family was the last to be pushed in, so it was probably less than an hour. Seeing that Su Mo hadn't come out, Lu Chongjing quickly asked the nurse, Comrade nurse, where's my wife? The woman in labor needs to wait a moment. Come, take the baby away. Li Yue smiled until her eyes narrowed into slits. Oh, my grandson, my granddaughter. How can she be so pretty? As he said that, he quickly reached out and hugged one of them. The first time Su Yuan saw the child, his heart melted. He quickly threw the luggage in his hand to Lu Chongjing and reached out to hug the other one. Lu Chongzhen glanced at the child and was very happy, but his wife was more important. He kept staring at the door of the delivery room to see when his wife would come out. An auntie who was also waiting at the door wanted to come over to take a look at the twins. When she saw them, she immediately exclaimed, "Aren't these children so cute? Look at their eyes, so charming." When the others heard this, they all came over to watch. Li Wei was in a very good mood. "Look like my daughter-in-law. My daughter-in-law has fair skin and is pretty." In fact, these two children don't look particularly like Su Mo and Lu Chongzhen. They have their own looks, but they are very good-looking. Su Yuan was holding his sister. Looking at such a cute child, he smiled like a big fool. "I'm your second uncle, you know? You remember, after you came out of the delivery room, it was your second uncle who held you first." He said this while making faces and teasing the child. At first, my sister cooperated and looked at me for a few times, but later, her eyes gradually showed disgust, and she simply closed her eyes and stopped looking. Su Yuan was stunned. Why did he seem to see a look of disdain? Seeing that the child had his eyes closed, Su Yuan thought that the child was tired, so he held the child and did not dare to move, for fear of disturbing the child's sleep. After waiting for about another 20 minutes, Su Mo was pushed out. Several people hurried to meet her and were relieved to see that she was in good condition. When they returned to the ward, Aunt Wu was envious when she saw that Su Mo had given birth to twins, a boy and a girl. Seeing how cute the children were, and then looking at her own monkey-like granddaughter, she realized that the saying "compare the goods and throw them away" still applies. This sister Li is so blessed. This pair of grandchildren looks like the fairy children under the seat of Guanyin. They will definitely have a bright future. After settling down, Li Wei quickly took a small bowl filled with warm boiled water and fed the two babies a little water to clean their mouths. The two children had just gotten to know the new world and now seemed tired. They closed their eyes and fell asleep quickly. Su Mo looked at the two children lying side by side beside her, stretched out her fingers, and carefully touched their cheeks. "Little guys, we finally meet. Brother, how come you're here so fast? I thought you wouldn't arrive until tomorrow." Su Mo saw that there was darkness under his eyes and was afraid that he had been traveling these days. "I was lucky. I saw a flight from Beijing to Harbin, so I took it,"
Su Yuan said.
He looked at Su Mo, feeling a lot of emotions in his heart. The youngest princess in the family had grown up and was now a mother. "Chongzhen, I'm fine for now. Take my second brother to the guest house and get a room so he can rest for a while." Seeing that the ward was so small and couldn't accommodate too many people, Su Yuan left with Lu Chongzhen. As for the things, they were also taken to the guest house first and taken out when they got home. Su Mo and the others had already prepared the things needed for the hospital. It was almost time for lunch. Li Wei finally met Aunt Wu's in-laws, who looked a little arrogant, with a shrewd and mercenary look. Seeing Aunt Wu holding a baby, he looked very surprised and started to blame her. "Oh, relative, when did the baby come out? Why didn't you send us a message when it was born? Guangping called last night to ask if the baby was born, and I told him that it wasn't. If I hadn't come to see it, he wouldn't have known." Wu was furious. After putting the child down, she whispered angrily, "Are you talking nonsense? Your daughter-in-law gave birth to a child, and you ignored her for 3 days. Didn't you say before that if I took care of her, you would be responsible for delivering meals? My dear, you can't say that. I have to go to work. Besides, I have you as my biological mother to take care of me, so I have no reason to worry. The hospital has a cafeteria, and the food there is better than what I cook. I want you to eat in the cafeteria. Let us eat in the cafeteria."
"Did you pay?"
"Guangping's salary is all in your hands. Did you pay a penny for his wife's childbirth? My dear relatives, it's my fault. I was in a hurry that day and forgot to give the money." As he said this, he took out 50 yuan and put it in Aunt Wu's hand. Then he looked at the baby and asked, "Is it a boy or a girl?"
"Girl,"
Aunt Wu said unhappily. It was really inconvenient to argue with her in public. "My daughter is so good. She is my mother's little cotton padded jacket." After seeing the child, the relative did not hug the child. He turned around and said, "Oh, I have to call Guangping and tell him that his wife has given birth. I have to go to work in the afternoon, so I'll trouble you to take care of her." After saying that, he patted his and left. Wu was so angry that she couldn't speak, and Li Wei was also stunned. But for some reason, she seemed to see the shadow of Fong Chunfong in that person. Fong Chunfong is the same. She is good at saying nice things, but what she does is very unkind. Seeing what happened to Aunt Wu's daughter, Li Wei gradually fell silent. Perhaps she shouldn't object to her daughter's divorce. People like this may not seem to have any major problems, but they are very annoying, just like a frog boiled in warm water. It won't hurt at first, but it will slowly grind you to death. In the evening, Aunt Wu's in-laws brought over food and even made chicken soup. His attitude wasn't bad at all, and he spoke nicely, but he just didn't do anything. His granddaughter just teased him and then patted him on the and left. Maybe she could relate to the situation, but Li Wei felt very uncomfortable watching it. Wu helped her daughter and granddaughter to sleep. She took Li Wei outside to complain. "You said, it's a bit like a rolling knife meat. You said something nice to her, but what she did was not authentic. It really hurts my heart. If the family had been divided, I would have tolerated it if she hadn't helped. But the point is that the family hadn't been divided, and she took all the money my son sent back. When my daughter-in-law got pregnant and had a baby, she only said a few nice words occasionally and didn't care about anything else. Don't think that she took the money very quickly yesterday. She gave 50 yuan at the beginning. My brother-in-law sends me 40 yuan every month. My uncle is the second child. He has an older brother and 2 younger sisters. She uses the money my uncle sends back to support the older one. My mother-in-law is a very snobbish person. This eldest son is not as good as my uncle in every way, but he is very capable and married the daughter of a high-ranking official. My mother-in-law thought that she had married a high-ranking official, so she would almost grant any request from the eldest wife. The gifts prepared for the new year were so much that 4 hands were not enough to carry them, but my family only had 2 kilograms of meat and 2 cans of fruit. After my daughter finishes her confinement, I will go and talk to her. Even if we can't divide the family property, half of the 40 yuan must go to my daughter. Otherwise, it will all go into the mouths of the eldest wife's family." Li Yue listened and put herself in the story. This was definitely a replica of Fong Chunfong. Before, when the eldest daughters-in-laws were doing well, she stuck to them. But now that she thinks the third daughter has more potential, she starts to stick to her daughter again. Her attitude towards Xiaolan has also changed drastically. How can such a fence-sitter and snob have any sincerity? If the third brother was transferred one day, or no longer took care of them, I'm afraid he would immediately turn hostile and start treating her daughter harshly. The more she thought about it, the colder Li Yue felt. When he gets back, he will have to discuss with the old man how to deal with this matter. In the evening, Wu's daughter's child started crying again. Su Mo even suspected that when Wu's daughter was pregnant, she cried every night, which caused her daughter to cry every night. The pregnant woman who was trying to protect her fetus was so annoyed that she went crazy. In the end, the doctor came to coordinate and let her spend the night in the doctor's office. In the evening, Li Yue and Su Yun both went to the guest house, leaving only Su Mo and Lu Chongjing in the hospital. The two were afraid of scaring the children, so they thought of covering them with a blanket and taking them outside to hide. However, they found that the 2 little ones were not afraid at all, and they opened their eyes and pricked up their ears, as if they were listening with great interest. Su Mo was happy. This kid with special powers was different. He was smart and brave. Lu Chongjing was also happy. As expected of his father, he had been brave since childhood. Su Mo was also very curious about what abilities the 2 kids had. However, the children were still young, and they could not communicate with each other. They could only observe carefully to see if there were any abnormalities in the children's growth process. Su Mo and her 2 children were in excellent condition. After the doctor's examination, he allowed Su Mo to be discharged from the hospital. Then he wrote down the hospital bill and asked Lu Chongjing to pay it. Su Mo stayed in the hospital for 3 days. The hospitalization fee was 90 cents, the needle and medicine fee was 88 cents, the delivery fee was 2 yuan, and the treatment fee was 1.2 yuan, a total of 4.98 yuan. The cost of normal delivery in a hospital in 1978 compared to the high-priced medical care in later generations. The hospital charges in this era were very cheap. Wu's daughter was also discharged from the hospital today. She actually still had a little fever, but her daughter was too fond of crying and would easily disturb others at night, so they decided to let her go home to recuperate. Who came to pick her up from the hospital were her father and older brother. They were both wearing blue work clothes and looked simple and honest. Before leaving, Lu Chongjing first called the brigade to tell his family that they were going back now and asked them to prepare lunch at noon as his second uncle was coming. In fact, when Lu Chongjing took Su Yuan to the guest house yesterday, both Lu Chongjing and Su Yuan called home to report the good news. When Lu Qing'an learned that she had given birth to twins, he was overjoyed and immediately went to the chicken farm to buy a few pounds of eggs for Su Emo to eat during her confinement. In the evening, he and Lu Boming had a few drinks. Su Tingda was also very happy and told Su Yuan to take more photos of the child and bring them back to him. Su Yuan brought a camera with him this time. Because he had a child with him, Lu Chongjing drove slowly along the way, and it took him about 3 hours to return to the Lujia village brigade. Several people went home first to settle Su Mo and the child down. In this era, people with the means still attach great importance to confinement. When she was still in the hospital, Li Yue wrapped Su Mo with a headscarf. The two children woke up as soon as they got out of the car. They seemed to know that this was the home they would live in the future. Their eyes rolled around, as if they were looking around. Li Yue's heart melted when she saw him, and she called him her big baby. Lu Yuji had been keeping an eye out at home. When she heard a car passing by, she quickly picked up the pig's trotters stewed with soybeans that she had been stewing for the whole morning, put them in a basket, and carried them over there. Her younger sister-in-law had given birth to a child, so as the eldest sister-in-law, she had to show some appreciation. When she heard the news yesterday, she asked Lu Xiaolan to save a pig's trotter for her. This morning, she rode her bike to the supply and marketing cooperative to buy some and stewed it, waiting for Su Mo to come back. Lu Yuji entered the house and saw Li Yue and said, "Mom, my third brother's family has a new baby. As the eldest aunt, I don't have much good food, so I bought a pig's trotter and stewed some soybeans to nourish my third brother and his wife and help them produce milk." Li Yue took it with a smile. "You are so thoughtful as an aunt." Seeing that the children can get along harmoniously, Li Yue is very happy. This is how a family should be. You help me, I help you, and only in this way can the family prosper. Compared to other families, hers is pretty good. Although there are some bad things, overall it is still harmonious. It was absolutely correct to make the decision to split the family at that time. Lu Chongjing was making the Kong for Sui Yuan in the West Room. When he heard Lu Yuji coming to deliver something, they both came out, one to greet her and the other to thank her. Chatted for a few words in the living room, then went into the room to see Su Mo and the child. Seeing the child, Lu Yuji was both fond of and envious. Such a handsome man would give birth to children that were prettier than others. Lu Yuji went back after reading it and asked Lu Chongjing and the others to come over for dinner later, saying that the food was ready at home. Li Yue scooped up some pig's trotters for Su Mo to eat, and then the three of them prepared to go over to eat. Li Yue saw Su Yuan carrying a bunch of things and hurriedly said, "His second uncle, this is not possible. Why are you carrying so many things?" Now that she has a child, Li Yue calls her in-laws the same way as her child does. Su Yuan smiled and said, "Aunt, there's nothing much, just some specialties from the south. My mother asked me to bring them over for everyone to try." What Su Yuan brought over were some southern specialties, including dried bamboo shoots, dried longans, dried mangoes, and dried bananas. Fu Manhua had divided them up in advance, giving each family a small bag of each, so that everyone could try them. Su Yuan arrived at the Lu family, distributed the gifts to each family, and introduced them by the way. These things are not available in the north, and they have only seen them in books or newspapers, but have never seen the real thing, let alone eat it. Even the dried fruits were very precious. I'm afraid that in the entire Hongqi commune, the number of people who had eaten this kind of dried fruit from the southernmost part of the country could be counted on one hand. After dinner, Wilson and Sue chatted for a while at Lu's house, and then came over. Only then did they have time and space to take out the things Fu Manhua had prepared for Sue Mo and the children. First came a large bag of small clothes of various colors, 2 sets each for spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Some of these clothes were made by Fu Manhua, who asked skilled craftsmen in the family quarters, and some were bought at the friendship store. Milk powder and condensed milk, all of which are top domestic brands. I think they will be enough for the children to drink for 1 or 2 months. A lot of medicines and supplements were also prepared for Sue Mo to help her recover after childbirth. Sue Mo looked at the gifts that almost filled half of the Kong and felt deeply touched. Regardless of the things, she should remember the friendship that came from thousands of miles away. Sue Mo really wished that the reform and opening up would come immediately so that she could have the opportunity to repay their friendship. In the afternoon, Lu Boming, Lu Qing'an, and several other children also came to see the child. There were too many people, so they didn't go into the room for fear of attracting the wind. Lu Chongzheng carried the child to the living room to show the 2 elders, who were so happy that they couldn't stop smiling. In the evening, Lu Hohot also came over with 2 fish, saying that her brother caught them from the river and asked Sue Mo to stew them to increase milk production. As for breastfeeding, Sue Mo did not insist on breastfeeding because she felt that her sister seemed unwilling to drink. She tried to breastfeed last night and this afternoon, but each time her sister closed her eyes with a look of resistance, unwilling to open her mouth. However, she drank the milk powder happily. The younger brother was not as resistant as his older sister, but Sue Mo had just given birth and did not have much milk. The younger brother took 2 sips, but probably because he was not satisfied with drinking from the bottle, he was not willing to drink any more and preferred to drink milk powder. If they don't want to drink it, Sue Mo will be happy to have some free time and just let them drink milk powder. 500-gram pack of milk powder costs 2.65 yuan, which is completely affordable for her and Lu Chongzheng's salary. It's just that it's hard to get milk powder coupons, so she can find a way to exchange them with others when the time comes. There are a lot of officials in the family, so it's still possible to get milk powder coupons for 2 children. In the evening, Li Wei came over again and gave Lu Chongzheng some instructions before going back. Sue Mo felt extremely comfortable during this period of confinement. She basically didn't have to take care of the child. She had Lu Chongzheng to take care of her at night, and Sue Yuan and Li Wei to take care of her during the day. Moreover, the 2 little ones are very well behaved and rarely cry. When they are hungry or have a movement, they will hum to remind their parents. Except for 2 days when he went to the cowshed with Lu Chongzheng early in the morning to deliver things, Sue Yuan spent the rest of the time in Lujia village, taking care of Sue Mo and the children, acting as a super uncle. From preparing milk and feeding, changing diapers, bathing the child, and doing health exercises for the child. Even Li Yue praised that whoever marries Sue Yuan in the future will be blessed. Sue Yuan was secretly proud of himself. Before he came, his mother gave him special training for a week. What these professionals taught him must be up to par. In addition to taking care of the children, Sue Yuan also found ways to prepare food for Sue Mo. Not to mention, Sue Yuan was very talented in cooking, and the food he prepared was very delicious. Sue Mo felt that she had gained weight. Before, when she saw Sue Mo's good cooking skills, Li Wei was a little surprised. Now that she saw Sue Yuan's cooking skills were also so good, Li Yue understood that it turned out to be a family tradition. Seeing that Sue Yuan was good at everything, Li Yue would often remind Lu Chongzheng to learn more, take good care of his wife, and not rely on his second uncle for everything. Li Yue could also understand Fu Manhua's feelings. If her daughter married so far away, she would also be hard to feel at ease. No matter how good the in-laws were, it was still more reassuring to have one's own family. Xiaoma's aunt is really a very good person. Since she couldn't come herself, she taught her son to come. She didn't dare to say how good she was, but she tried her best, and she had to show her attitude to reassure Xiaoma's family. Lu Chongzheng also felt aggrieved. He was a novice and had been trying very hard to learn, but his second uncle had received professional training and was no match for him. He was so professional that people who didn't know him would think he had 8 or 9 children. He was also very fast, and he would rush over immediately if the children made any movement. Lu Changzheng was very grateful to Sui Yuan because he was very busy at the mining area during this period. He had to go back to the army during the day and could only come back at night. With Sui Yuan around, he felt at ease. Although when he is not around, his mother will help at home. But the old lady is busy with work and will not focus on his wife, and she is definitely not as careful as Sui Yuan. Therefore, even if Sui Yuan teased him from time to time, he would happily agree. Then, under his guidance, he learned how to take care of infants and young children scientifically. With the help of her special powers, Sumo's body had almost recovered in 3 or 4 days. But with Li Yue and Sui Yuan restraining her, Sumo had no choice but to stay in the room and recuperate after giving birth. In rural areas of this era, children are named rather casually. When they are young, they are given nicknames that are easy to raise, such as Dinyo, Gosheng, Luzi, etc. Only when they are about to go to school will they be given a full name. The Lu family is quite particular. Usually, they will give their children a name after they are 1 month old. Lu Qing'an thought that since Sumo's parents lived far away and it was rare for her to come, he might as well name the child during the confinement period, so he went to discuss it with Lu Boming. Dad, I was thinking about naming these 2 children while my second uncle Changzheng is still here. Do you think they should follow their cousins' names? Lu Boming thought for a moment and waved his hand. No, they are twins, a boy and a girl, so they can name them individually. Although feudal superstition is not practiced nowadays, Lu Boming has known countless people. When he first saw the 2 children, he felt that they were not ordinary people. The names of the children of the first and second wives were both a bit ordinary, and he felt that following the same name was not particularly suitable for the 2 children. We won't name these 2 children. Let Xiaoma's parents choose them. This isn't it a bit bad? Lu Qing'an hesitated. There's nothing wrong with that. You already have so many grandchildren, and you've already enjoyed the fun of naming them. Xiaoma is an only child, and she's the only one of her parents. Let their grandfather or great-uncle name these 2 children. When they have more children in the future, you can name them. When Lu Qing'an heard this, he thought it was true, so he went to tell Sui Yuan. When Sui Yuan heard this, he was immediately happy. He had thought of many names these days. He immediately got on his bicycle, called his father, and suggested the names he had thought of. Although Su Tingda was also happy, he would not interfere and let Sui Yuan ask the child's biological grandfather to take it away. However, after hanging up the phone, he started looking up the dictionary. Based on his understanding of his brother, he could at least pick out a name. That night, Sui Yuan took the child's photo and secretly went to the cowshed. Su Tiqian listened to Sui Yuan talk a lot about the 2 children. Hearing that the elder sister seemed to have a bad temper, he named her Lu Han, hoping that she would be calm and gentle, smart and open-minded, and harmonious and beautiful. As for his younger brother's name, Su Tingqian asked Su Tingda to choose it. The eldest brother has always loved Momo very much, and he is no worse than his father. As her uncle, he has the right to name her. The next morning, Sui Yuan called Su Tingda again. Su Tingda thought about it for a whole night, came up with hundreds of names, and was already sitting by the phone waiting. Hearing that his sister's name was Lu Han, Su Tingda thought about it and named his brother Lu Yanhe, which means peace and prosperity. Moreover, the 2 names He Yen and Yen He have similar pronunciations when read in reverse order, so these names are good for twins, a boy and a girl. Thus, the names of the 2 little ones were decided. The Lu family was also very satisfied after hearing this. Then Sumo, as a mother, also gave the 2 children nicknames. The elder sister was named Nen, and the younger brother was named Lulu, hoping that they would live a peaceful and happy life. Now that the child's name has been decided, it's time for Sui Yuan to leave. He only has 1 month's vacation, and he has to leave some time for the journey. He has already stayed in Lujia village for more than 20 days, which is already the limit. If he doesn't leave now, it will be too late to return to the team. Sui Yuan was very reluctant to let go. He hugged and Lele with tears in his eyes. Little sister, when the children are a little older, you can bring them to Guangxi province in the winter.
Su Yun said.
The snow season here lasts for most of the year, so there is nothing to do. It's a good opportunity to go to Guangxi province. Okay, I'll take them there when they grow up. Su and Mo nodded in agreement. The two children seemed to be aware of the atmosphere of parting. They usually didn't cry much, but now they were crying loudly, which made Su Yun feel very distressed. Don't cry, don't cry. Su Yun hurriedly coaxed the child. When my second uncle has a day off, I'll come to see you. I'm afraid that when he comes next time, these two kids will run all over the village. I don't know if they will still remember him as their second uncle by then. After coaxing the child, Su Yun and Lu Chongjing left. On the way to send Su Yun to the train station, Su Yun threatened Lu Chongjing from time to time, saying that if he dared to treat his younger sister badly, he would come and skin him alive. Lu Chongjing agreed to all of them. They arrived at the train station and Su Yun was about to get off. Lu Chongjing suddenly called him. Brother, if my parents can leave for Guangzhou smoothly, I may also be transferred there in the future. Su Yun immediately perked up and asked hurriedly, What do you mean? Can you be transferred there? This huge transfer from the south to the north is very difficult. It may not work even if it's literally true.
Tell me?
Lu Chongjing smiled but said nothing. Is it inconvenient to say? Lu Chongjing nodded. It was not that it was inconvenient to say it, and his second uncle had been threatening him all the way, so he just whetted his appetite a little as a revenge. I went back and told my dad that if he needed any connections in the south, he could just call us and not be afraid of causing trouble. If this person could get through, their family would be reunited without having to travel so far apart. He had to go back and talk to his father to see if there had been any major changes recently and see if he could make some effort to make this happen. Su Yun got on the train with questions and thoughts. During this period, the higher-ups were afraid that if a person stayed in a certain place for too long, negative factors would emerge, so they would transfer some leaders who had been in office for a long time to other places. Shenyang Military Region has served in this military region for more than 10 years. This year, he received a transfer order from above and will be transferred to the Yangqing Military Region next year. If he wanted to transfer, he naturally couldn't just go alone. He had to bring a few trusted and capable people with him, including the division commander of Lu Chongjing's former unit. The division commander had always admired Lu Chongjing. After deciding to follow his leader, he called Lu Chongjing a few days ago and asked him if he would like to be transferred to the Yangqing Military Region next year, still in the front-line unit. Lu Chongjing was thinking about how to return to the front-line troops. If he agreed to be transferred, all problems would be solved and he would not have to be demoted. However, he did not agree immediately and said he would think about it. After all, it is still unknown whether his father-in-law and mother-in-law can successfully go to Yangqing. If not, he will definitely have to stay here. Don't think everything is calm now. In fact, at the beginning of the year, they arrested 2 groups of suspicious people. It has been quiet in the last 2 or 3 months. I guess there have been too many failures, so no one has been sent here for the time being. Lu Chongjing said he would consider it, and the division commander also understood. After all, they were located in the south and the north, and the distance between them was too far. It would be inconvenient to go back and forth to visit relatives. Okay, you think about it carefully and give me an answer by the end of the year. If you have any difficulties, you can raise them. I will coordinate if they can be solved. The commander also made a promise. This was exactly what Lu Chongjing wanted. If he was really transferred, it probably wouldn't be too difficult to find a better job for his wife. After Su Yun went back, Li Yue asked for leave from the team and prepared to take care of Su Mo until the end of her confinement. Mom, there's really no need. I've almost recovered. And Un and Lulu are also very well behaved. I can take care of them by myself during the day.
Su Mo said.
Before, Su Yun was watching her, and she had to lie on the Kong every day and was not allowed to move at all. It felt like she was going to be ruined. Moreover, she felt like she was going to go bad after not showering or washing her hair for so many days, so she took advantage of the day when no one was around to wash herself. In July, Even if she stayed in her room all day, she would still sweat a little. If Li Yue comes over to watch again, forget it. Li Yue waved her hand and said with a smile, "It's okay. It's very hot outside. Mom has worked all her life, so it's a good time to take a break."
So Montag also seid.
She guessed that Li Yue had taken a special leave to keep an eye on her. Because at the beginning, she wanted to take a shower twice and was caught by Li Yue. After she warned her, Su Yun and Lu Chongzheng also stopped her from taking a shower. The old lady had good intentions, and she didn't want to argue and hurt his feelings, so she just had to bear it. She originally wanted to wait until everyone left at night before taking a bath, but Lu Chongzheng and Su Yun disagreed, saying that it was bad for her health and asked her to take a bath after she finished her confinement. "Shuma, are you thinking about taking a bath again?" Li Wei asked with a smile. Su Mo smiled awkwardly. "No, I don't want to wash. Listen to your mother. There are only a few days left. Be patient and don't get sick from the confinement period. It won't be noticeable when you are young, but you will suffer when you are older. Your Aunt Chun Feng took a bath during her confinement. Now that she's old, when it gets cold and windy, she gets a terrible headache and has to wear a headscarf and a hat early on. Mom knows that the weather is hot now and you feel uncomfortable, so just apply it a few more times when you wipe your body." "Okay, I understand."
Shomó responded.
"Well, just lie down. It doesn't matter if it's dirty. It won't be long." The baby was 1 month old. Su Mo also came out of confinement. Early in the morning, Su Mo got up, boiled 2 large pots of water, and washed herself thoroughly. After washing, I felt like my body was lighter. Li Yue cooked a pot of red eggs in the morning and brought them over, thinking of asking Su Mo to help her distribute them. Looking at Su Mo's comfortable expression, he smiled secretly. "Looks like she's taking a shower?" Su Mo chuckled a few times, which was considered as her agreement. When Li Yue saw Su Mo's appearance, she also sighed that being young was a good thing. It's only been 1 month, but Xiaoma doesn't look like a born child at all, and is no different from a little girl. I cooked a pot of red eggs. At noon, come with me to give them out to the families of our relatives. In their place, red eggs are given out when a baby is 1 month old. Okay. Su Mo nodded. "Do you want to push the child along?" Logically, the child is still too young and it is best not to take him out, but Ananlele looks brave and strong, so there is no need to be afraid of taking him out. Okay, let's push her along. It'll be a good opportunity for everyone to meet her. Those people had wanted to come for a long time, but she said that Su Mo was in confinement after giving birth and it was inconvenient for her, so she held them back. Around noon, with the help of Li Yue, Su Mo gave the 2 children another bath. So she gave them a bath every day at noon when the temperature was highest. It was Su Mo's first time to bathe a child. Thinking that boys were a little rougher, she decided to experiment with her younger brother first. At this time, the bathtub for children to bathe does not have a bath rack or anything like that. It is just a basin that has to be held by hand. Following Li Yue's instructions, Su Mo first washed Lele's hair with clean water and then took off her clothes and washed her body. Both children are taken care of very well. When they were born, they weighed only about 4 kilograms. After 1 month of raising them, they probably weigh 7 or 8 kilograms now. They are chubby and plump, with joints on their hands and feet. Therefore, when washing your body in addition to the surface, you should also pay special attention to the cracks in the flesh that are squeezed out by too much flesh. Lele seemed to particularly like water. He danced with joy while washing. After washing, she dried herself, applied some talcum powder, and put on the new clothes that Fu Manhua bought from the friendship store. She looked prettier than the dolls in the New Year pictures. When I was washing in, things were not so smooth. The girl moved around and didn't cooperate very well. Li Yue laughed and said, "Anan may be afraid of water. She always has a strange expression when taking a bath." Su Mo almost burst out laughing when she saw it. This wasn't a weird expression, it was an expression of despair. Having read so many novels, Su Mo is very accepting. She has already guessed that Anan was either reborn with her memories or was reborn through a body transfer. From the pregnancy experience, this child should be of great importance. When she can speak again, She will definitely ask where this sacred person came from. After bathing the two children, Sumo put the children in the stroller that Lu Chongjing had customized in the commune workshop and pushed it out with Li Yue. It was the first time for the two little ones to come out. Lele was very excited and babbled a lot. Anan was much calmer and just observed and looked at them from time to time. Every time they go to a house, the two little ones will be watched and praised. Lele was more cooperative and acted cute from time to time, while Anan looked impatient. But he is cute, and this impatient expression is also another kind of cuteness in the eyes of adults, and it is also a kind of teasing. Anan looked at the people making faces in front of her and felt numb inside. She just closed her eyes and lay down, not caring about anything else and letting her stupid brother do his business. Li Wei distributed red eggs and showed off to the children, feeling extremely happy. When she went to work in the afternoon, she worked much faster than usual. In the evening, Lu Chongzhen bought a lot of meat and the whole family had a meal together at the Lu family's house. Lu Xiaolan and Yang Jingming also came back. Although it is not popular to hold a full-month banquet, it is still necessary for the family to have a meal together. Lu Xiaolan loved the twin nephew and niece so much that she was unwilling to let go of them. After dinner, Lu Chongjing talked about the issue of raising children again. Sumo's maternity leave is only 40 days, and she has to go back to work in a week. She definitely cannot bring the child to work, so someone has to take care of the child. In Lujia village, children born during the farming period were usually carried on the backs of adults to go to work after the confinement period. When they were able to run and walk, they were taken care of by older children. Like Lu Fengqin, she was basically taken care of by Lu Xiaolan at that time. Few families would leave one person at home to look after their children, unless the elderly are in poor health and cannot go out to work. Lu Chongjing and Sumo's idea was to let Li Yue stop working and take care of their children, and they would give her money every month. In front of everyone today, because I was afraid that if I didn't explain it clearly, the other two families would have some thoughts. Momo will have to go back to work in a few days. I want Mom to help take care of the child for a while. We will give her 10 yuan a month. Lu Chongjing said. Li Yue immediately waved her hands. It's no problem for me to look after your children. Why would I pay you? Which nurse wouldn't look after her children? The third child had asked her before and asked her to help look after the children, which was naturally no problem. She didn't expect that they would actually ask for money. I've also looked at your eldest and second brother's houses. There's no reason to ask you to pay for them. Mom, it's different. I want you to stop working and focus on taking care of our children. Lu Chongjing said, we have 2 children, but we are not one. You can still carry them on your back while working. He also couldn't bear to let such a delicate child be exposed to the wind and sun with adults outside. Looking after the children doesn't affect my work. I don't do farm work, so I just cut grass for the pigs. Your grandfather is here, and there are so many nephews and nieces. I'll go cut grass for the pigs after the children fall asleep, and let them help look after them. Yeah, if that doesn't work, I'm still here. Lu Qing'an also said, how can you charge money for taking care of your grandchildren? If you tell others about it, they will laugh at you. We have separated. Before Lu Chongjing could say anything, he was interrupted by Lu Boming. We have separated, but you are still the child's grandparents. Chongjing, if you feel that taking care of the child affects your mother's work points, just buy her more food at the end of the year. Giving money is too distant. Since Lu Boming had already spoken, Lu Chongjing did not say anything more. If he didn't want to take the money, he could just make up for it from somewhere else. Later, I will slowly persuade his mother to stop working and stay at home to help take care of the children full-time. So, the matter of babysitting was settled. After finishing his meal, Lu Chongjing quickly took a shower and went into the house to play with the children. The 2 little ones took a nap while eating and are now full of energy. Lele was very cooperative and laughed amusedly, while Anan watched on the side speechlessly. The humans in this land of absolute spirituality don't seem to be very smart. Wife, why do I feel that our daughter seems very cold and aloof? Lu Chongjing said helplessly, and he had to use words from the future to describe her appropriately. Aren't girls all cute? Why doesn't his girl like to talk to him? As a sister, she's naturally calmer.
Suemo said.
She's not cold at all. She has a baby's body, but an adult soul. She had nothing to do during her confinement period, so she had been secretly observing the two children. Lele should have been born normally, just a little smarter than ordinary children. Anan should have the memories of his past life. Because she had once experienced having her superpowers drained away, Suemo couldn't help but worry whether Anan would be a bad person. But according to her observation, Anan is not a bad person, just has a bit of a weird personality and is a little defensive. He looks very cold and impatient from time to time, but he is actually very patient with Lele. There were a few times when Suiyuan was not around, Lele woke up and cried. Suemo wanted to observe Anan's reaction, so she pretended to be asleep. At first, Anan would howl a few times to attract people, but when no one paid attention, he would babble and wave his hands to comfort his brother. Later, as long as his brother cried, Anan would start to comfort him. So in the eyes of Li Yue and others, the two little ones are very easy to take care of and don't like to cry or make a fuss. The next day at noon, after Jiang Yu and Ma Xiaowan got off work, they brought some things to see Sumo. They actually wanted to come a long time ago, but Suemo was in confinement after giving birth, and they heard that her cousin was there, so they didn't come. This morning when I was at work, I heard people talking about twins, a boy and a girl. I knew that Suemo had already left the confinement period, so I hurried over. The two of them teased the children first. The cute baby Lele giggled naturally to show their respect, but the cold girl Anan still ignored them. Suemo, your daughter is quite a character, Ma Xiaowan said with a smile, while hugging Anan.
Hey.
The more she ignored her, the more she teased her. Finally, Anan got annoyed and just peed, which scared Ma Xiaowan so much that she almost jumped up and quickly gave the baby to Suemo. Suemo naturally did not ignore the cunning in Anan's eyes. She wiped her with a smile, changed her diaper, and tapped her little nose and said, "Don't play tricks on me next time." After putting the children back on the Kong, the three of them sat by the Kong and chatted. Jiang Yu took out 2 pairs of tiger head shoes from the cloth bag. "Sister Suemo, these tiger head shoes were made by my sister and asked me to give them to you. She was very happy when she heard that you gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl." Suemo thanked him and happily took it. Jiang Lan's craftsmanship was very good, and the tiger head shoes she made were particularly beautiful. Then, Jiang Yu took out 2 small clothes made of white cotton cloth from the bag. "Sister Suemo, I made these for the children. I hope you don't mind." Suemo unfolded them and saw that the 2 small clothes were very uniquely made. On the corners of the clothes, the words sister and brother were embroidered with different colors of threads. "Your craftsmanship is really good. The clothes are very beautiful. The children will definitely like them." "Thank you, Jiang Yu." Suemo thanked her. "Have you learned how to make clothes before?" Jiang Yu smiled sheepishly. "My mother taught me, and my sister and I both learned it." Her grandmother was a famous tailor who used to make clothes for wealthy families. Her mother said that this skill should not be lost. Suemo looked at the clothes and shoes. This Jiang mother must be an incredible craftsman. Such talents should be remembered. In a few years, there will be plenty of opportunities for cooperation. Ma Xiaowan also took out the things she brought from her bag and handed them to Suemo. "Suemo, you know me, I don't have any cooking skills, so I bought 2 kilograms of brown sugar for you to nourish your body. I was just about to buy brown sugar, and you brought it here. We really have such a tacit understanding." Suemo said with a smile. "Really? At least you can use it." Ma Xiaowan breathed a sigh of relief. She was afraid that the gift she gave was too small. How can a good thing like brown sugar not be used? Suemo put away all her things, and the 3 of them chatted for a while. Finally, Suemo reminded, "I heard from my wife that the primary schools in the brigade and the commune will recruit more teachers next semester. You should prepare quickly. I think the news will be announced in a few days." Lu Chongjing told her this news a few days ago. The mining area is now stable, and some cadres and engineers' families will come here one after another. Naturally, there will be more children, so another class must be opened. The 2 heard this. Their eyes lit up. If they can pass the exam to become teachers, they won't have to work in the fields and can enjoy the average work points of the brigade, as well as a subsidy of a few yuan per month. Okay, we'll all go back and prepare. They all have their own rooms now, so they don't have to worry about others knowing what they do in them. To Suemo, the two hurried back. 2 more days passed. Gung Chongqing, who has been busy for more than a month, finally found time to come and have a look. Gung Chongqing came here in a small car from the county, and he had to leave soon. When the car arrived at the brigade headquarters, Su Mo and Li Yue were also walking their children there. Seeing Gung Chongqing, Li Yue smiled and said to the children, "And Lulu, your uncle is here to see you." Gung Chongqing's mouth twitched, but he managed to hold back and not break his defense. Behind Gung Chongqing couldn't help but burst out laughing. "Secretary Gung, you are of a very high generation, you're even an uncle," the woman said as she walked towards him with a smile. This was the first time Su Mo saw a woman traveling with Gung Chongqing, and she was a little curious. Considering that her uncle asked her to introduce a girl to Uncle Gung some time ago, Su Mo guessed, could this be Uncle Gung's girl? Gung Chongqing looked at Su Mo's eyes and introduced helplessly, "This is reporter Chiu from Daily. He said he wanted to write an interview with me, so he has been following me. He thought it was just an interview in the office, so he agreed to it. If he had known that he would have to follow his leader to understand his daily life, he would definitely not agree. But now that he has agreed, and the other party uses the reason of normal work, he has no choice but to cooperate. And now he has sensed something was wrong. He probably saw that he rejected other people introduced to him, so he found another way and came in another way." Gung Chongqing just felt that his head was very bald. Chiu Xiaoyu exclaimed when she saw the two children, picked up the camera hanging on her chest, and said to Suemo, "The children are so cute. Can I take a picture of them?" Suemo looked at Gung Chongqing and saw him shaking his head slightly, so she said, "I'm sorry. The children are still young and have never seen a camera. I'm afraid they will be scared. So let's not take pictures. Now is a critical moment as to whether my parents can return to the city, so we have to be cautious about some things." Chiu Xiuyu felt a little sorry but didn't say anything and instead took pictures of the scenery of the brigade headquarters. After the photo shoot, I saw Gung Chongqing and his friends pushing their children away, so I hurried to follow them but was stopped by Gung Chongqing's secretary. "Reporter Chiu, Secretary Gung is here to visit his niece. This is a private matter, so don't follow him." The secretary was already a little annoyed with this reporter who had no sense of boundaries.
It was just an interview.
I followed him all day except when he was asleep. This didn't feel like an interview at all. It looked more like surveillance than anything else. To write a good personal interview, you have to know something about both public and private matters. Chiu Xiuyu said as he pushed the secretary away and tried to follow. She has been following Gung Chongqing for 2 days. He has been dealing with official business. It is rare for him to deal with personal matters, so she has to catch up with him. The secretary quickly stepped forward to stop him and said seriously, "Secretary Gung said that he doesn't want his family to be disturbed." Chiu Xiaoyu pursed her lips but didn't follow him. She also heard her family talk about Gung Chongqing and thought that this man sounded okay, so she came to take a look under the pretext of an interview. After getting to know him for 2 days, she felt that this man was indeed quite good. Although he was a little older, she was also 24 years old, so the age difference was not too big. She could like him in every way. Unfortunately, this man is very unromantic and always looks very businesslike. I don't know if he is dull or just doesn't like her. Chiu Xiuyu's family conditions are not bad. She is excellent in both ability and appearance. She is a bit arrogant and has high standards, otherwise she would not be single at the age of 24. Now she is also a little confused. On the one hand, her pride did not allow her to be too proactive, as men had always been the ones to flatter and coax her before. On the other hand, I also had a desire to win, and felt that it would be something to be proud of if I could defeat this man. After arriving home, Gung Chongqing put down the things he brought, which were milk powder, condensed milk, and brown sugar. These days, the variety of materials is not so rich, and there are only these kinds of nutritional supplements. This is already a very good thing. Then, Gung Chongqing looked at the child again, but he did not hug or praise the child like the others did. He was still a little afraid of such fragile things, so he didn't touch them easily. But these two children do look much better than the other children. They're not timid at all, and their eyes look bright. Xiaoma, I have something else to do later, so I won't stay any longer. I came here for two main reasons. One is to see you and the child, and the other is that the matter is almost done. Ask Brother Qian and Mr. Zhang to write the letter and wait for my notification at any time. They were playing with the time difference when the man was transferred to Jing City, and Hai City had to rearrange the chaos, so they had to be quick. Otherwise, it would not be so easy to wait for the man to be free. Okay.
Sumonadit solemnly.
After explaining the matter, Gung Chongqing left in a hurry. He had been very busy during this period. The next day, Sumo handed the child to Li Wei and went to work early. Since both children don't drink milk, she doesn't need to breastfeed them. She just needs to buy enough milk powder. Sumo first gave each of her colleagues 2 red eggs as a token of appreciation for the birth of a child. Then she went to Director Li and reported the birth expenses. Only then did she find 2 agricultural officers to take over her work. When she was on maternity leave, the 2 agricultural officers each took over a piece of her experimental field and helped her water the vegetables and record various data. After finishing these things in the morning, Sumo rode her bike to visit her experimental site in the afternoon. First, she went to the land of Lujia Village Brigade. Most of this land was newly planted shortly before she gave birth. Now is the harvest time. The beans, eggplants, tomatoes, etc. she cultivated using modern seedling technology have a yield at least 30% higher than those directly sown. Sumo took photos one by one for comparison and picked the ripe ones, preparing to take them to the commune tomorrow to see whether the leader would distribute them to colleagues or directly to the canteen. When Sumo finished picking the fruits and was about to leave, she saw Lu Boming carrying half a bag of things and going into the cowshed. He came out after a while. Sumo didn't know whether she should go out for a moment, so she hid back in the bean shed and waited for Lu Boming to leave before coming out. However, before she could make up her mind, Lu Boming had already discovered her. Xiaomo, didn't you go to work? Lu Boming didn't expect Sumo to be here. He probably didn't notice her because she was blocked just now. Yeah, there's nothing to do in the office, so I came to the experimental site to have a try.
Sumo said.
Lu Boming came in again to take a look at the experimental plot and said to Sumo, "Your cultivation method is good. Take some time to teach the vegetable group. We will also raise seedlings first and then plant next year." Okay, that's no problem. Sumo nodded. The cowshed is short of food. I'll deliver some to them. They are all people who have made contributions to the motherland. Lu Boming said without any intention of hiding anything. He guessed that Sumo had also seen it just now. In the cowshed, but the work points are few. 2 more people came at the end of last year, so it's only August, and there is not enough food. The last time Lu Boming went to drive the donkeys, he saw them eating wild vegetable porridge. After asking, he found out that they didn't have much food. That's why he brought some food over from time to time to help them. He didn't dare to bring anything good, only cornmeal or corn grits. Sumo nodded. Grandpa, if you take food from home for a long time, it will be easy for my parents to find out. You can get it from me next time. I got food from the team last year, and now I get food every month from work. There is enough food at home. According to Sumo's observation, her father-in-law was a relatively well-behaved person. If he knew that his biological father was supporting the people in the cowshed, he would probably be very worried.
Okay.
Lu Boming nodded. If it's convenient for you, please buy some food for Grandpa. Sumo nodded, and when the time comes she will just go to the grain station to exchange the fine grains for coarse grains. She gets 27 kilograms of fine grains every month. If she exchanges them for coarse grains, 1 kilogram of fine grains can be exchanged for 3 kilograms of coarse grains. Sumo went back home first, put down the vegetables she picked, changed for a new bamboo basket, and rode her bike to Lijiao. On the way, they happened to meet Li Yue pushing her 2 children out for a walk. When Lele saw Sumo, his little mouth pouted. Although I didn't drink milk, Mom is Mom after all. I still miss her when I haven't seen her for a day. Su Mo teased Anan and asked, Anan, do you miss your mother? And An's eyes looked around, but he didn't look at Su Mo. His awkward look made Su Mo laugh. Seeing that his mother only cared about his sister and ignored him, Lele waved his little hands and babbled until Su Mo kissed his little hand. These two kids are so smart. They know how to compete for favor at such a young age. Li Wei said with a smile. Other people's babies who are over a month old can only sleep, but her two babies are so smart. Other people's babies who are several months old are not as smart as them. Su Mo teased the child for a while and then prepared to leave. Mom, I'm going to work first and try to come back early. Li Wei waved her hand. Go ahead. Su Mo first went to the experimental site in Lijiao to check the condition of the vegetable crops and took some comparison photos. Then she went to find Captain Li, asked where Su Tingqian and the others were, and then went to look for them. She went on maternity leave. She asked the people in the cowshed to help her fatten the cattle regularly. Captain Li also knew about this, so it was normal for her to find someone to find out the situation after returning from maternity leave. Su Tiqian and his friends were catching insects for rice in a field. They were very happy to see Su Mo. Su Mo first openly explained the situation to them, then said there were some problems and asked Su Tingqian to go back and tell her the truth so that she could see where the mistake was. After Su Mo left, some people started whispering. Luckily, there are people in the cowshed, otherwise we would have to do this job, and not only would we not get any work points, but we would also be delayed in our work. Don't say that. I saw the vegetables in Researcher Su's field are very juicy. I heard he is researching new varieties. If the research is successful, we will be the ones who benefit. What's the point of studying vegetables? They'll be gone in winter and won't fill your stomach. If you want to study anything, study food. You don't understand. There are so many research institutes in the country that are researching grains.
It's just like that.
Researcher Su is smart, but there are few people researching vegetables. If they can develop a high-yield product, it will be a great achievement. In Sumo's garden in Lijiao, she mainly experiments with fertilization methods. For each crop, there are two groups for comparison. One group is fertilized with ordinary fertilizers, and the other group is fertilized with farmyard manure fertilized by Su Mo using a new method. Su Mo and Su Tingqian first went to the experimental field, and then went to the cowshed to see the fertile farm manure. After arriving at the cowshed, Su Mo quickly told Su Tingqian what Geng Chongqing had said, and took out some stationery from the bamboo basket and gave it to him, asking him to take some time to write the letter in the evening, and she would come to get it tomorrow. Su Tingqian nodded, put away his things, and before leaving, he couldn't help asking, Xiaoma, where did you learn this method of fertilizing? During the time Su Mo was on maternity leave, he helped her apply fertilizer. The contrast was really obvious. Su Mo's new fertilizer not only grew better, he also pulled them out for comparison and found that the root systems were more developed, and it seemed that there were fewer pests. Didn't my uncle send back some picture albums before? I saw it in them.
Su Mo said.
This is a common method of fertilizing in later generations for rooting and preventing diseases, using yeast plus brown sugar. About 1 pound of brown sugar, 50 grams of yeast, and 10 kilograms of water. Mix well and ferment at 20 to 30 degrees Celsius for 3 to 5 days. The fermented bacterial liquid can be diluted 200 times and used directly for root irrigation, which can not only promote the development of crop roots, but also effectively reduce the occurrence of soil-borne diseases. It can also be diluted 10 times to ferment farmyard manure. According to the standard of 1 kilogram of bacterial liquid fermenting 200 kilograms of farmyard manure, the farmyard manure can be fully decomposed after 15 days. The farmyard manure obtained in this way is almost comparable to fertilizer. When Su Mo was in her teens, Su Zhongqing did send back a lot of picture albums and books suitable for teenagers. These books were for children, so he didn't read them much. He didn't expect that there was such knowledge hidden in them. Foreign countries are far ahead of China in terms of youth education. Su Tingqian sometimes wondered what the situation would be like now if his family had gone abroad with his uncle. Maybe my father is still alive? But then I thought again, if I went abroad, I wouldn't meet Yurong, and there would be no Momo. The next day, Sue and Mo also returned to the commune in the morning and went to the experimental site in the afternoon. She went there late on purpose, waiting for Su Tingqian and his team to get the letter after work. It was already dark when she got home. Li Wei was waiting at home anxiously, and she was relieved only when she saw Su and Mo coming back. If you don't come back, I'll ask your eldest brother and the others to go look for you.
Mom, I'm sorry. I was so busy that I forgot the time.
I will pay attention next time.
Quickly.
Li Yue waved her hands and said, Mom is not saying anything to you. I'm just worried that something might happen to you on the road. There are a lot of cars on the road now. Someone was hit by a car while riding a bicycle 2 months ago. When Su and Mo came back, Li Yue hurried home to cook. Lu Changzhen was busy this week and told me that he would not be back in the evenings for the next few days. Su and Mo could handle it by herself, so she just took some fruit from the space for dinner. The weather was hot and she couldn't eat much, so Su and Mo took a watermelon, cut it in half, and ate it with a spoon. And then saw Su and Mo take something out of thin air out of the corner of her eye, and her eyes widened instantly. She knew that this cheap mother had with spiritual roots, but she didn't expect that she also had storage tools. But without spiritual energy, how does she use it? She was sleeping in her belly. She seemed to be able to feel energy fluctuations different from spiritual power from time to time. It seemed that this cheap mother was practicing some kind of martial arts. But there is no spiritual energy in this place. How did she practice? Could it be that he is an evil cultivator? Oh, wow, that would be perfect. Everyone says she is a big devil, and now she has an evil cultivator's mother. Su and Mo saw that and kept looking at her. So in order to avoid getting strabismus after looking at her too much, she went over and sat next to Anan. Do you want to eat? Su and Mo asked.
This thing is called watermelon.
It's quite cold. You can't eat it or you'll have diarrhea. You can only drink milk now. Anan said nothing and pretended not to understand. Don't pretend. I know you came here with your memories. Su and Mo directly pointed out, I don't care who you were before, since you are in my belly, then you are my child, and I am your mother. Good boy, you must listen to your mother. Aang rolled his eyes. When you are outside in the future, be careful and don't let others notice your abnormality. Not everyone is as advanced and open-minded as your mother and me. Don't let others treat you as a monster. That will be troublesome. I know you have superpowers like me. Now you can't speak, and I don't know what your powers are. I'm worried that you might use them accidentally and scare others. So, you keep an eye on your brother, and if he does anything abnormal, stop him immediately. Lele still listens to Anan. Mid-August, both the Lujia Village Brigade Primary School and the Commune Primary School issued notices to recruit another primary school teacher. The treatment of the Brigade Primary School is to enjoy the brigade's annual average work points, plus a monthly subsidy of 5 yuan. The treatment of the Commune Primary School is better, with a monthly salary of 15 yuan, but no work point subsidy, and the food supply is still in the original brigade. As soon as the news came out, the educated young people in the entire commune were eager to try and sign up for the exam. The exam is divided into 3 rounds: preliminary exam, re-examination, and trial lecture. The exam times of the 2 schools are staggered, so Ma Xiaowan and Zhang Yu signed up for both. The Lujia Village Brigade was okay, as only people from the brigade were allowed to register. However, there were many people in the commune primary school. During the initial test, there were as many as 500 or 600 people. After a competition, Ma Xiaowan won a place in the Lujia Village Brigade Primary School, while the place in the commune primary school was taken by someone from another brigade. In fact, Zhang Yu did quite well in the written test, but the girl was a little nervous and didn't perform well in the trial lecture, so she missed the opportunity. Time flies. August passed quickly in Sumo's daily routine of going to and from work, and in the blink of an eye it was September. That day, after Su and Mo bought the meal ticket, she went to the grain station to collect the remaining grain on her grain card. There were 17 kilograms of fine grains left. Su and Mo took 7 kilograms of rice and exchanged the remaining 10 kilograms of fine grains for 30 kilograms of corn kernels. Rice is 1.4 cents per pound. Corn kernels are 0.5 cents per pound. The total is 2.48 yuan. Su and Mo paid the money and got a receipt at the cashier's window, then went to the warehouse window, handed in the receipt and the grain bag, and asked the staff inside to weigh the grain. Just at this time, Lu Xiaolan's father-in-law Yang Yuping came over. Seeing Su and Mo waiting for the grain to be weighed, he greeted her and went into the warehouse. "Girl, do you know the director of the grain station?" The older sister, who was waiting to weigh the grain, asked in a low voice after Yang Yuping went in.
"Shomonari."
"That's great. Then you'll definitely be able to buy good food," the elder sister said enviously. Su Mo was a little confused. It was not her first time to buy grain. She had bought it several times before, and there seemed to be no problem with the grain. After a while, the eldest sister's food was weighed out. The eldest sister opened it, picked it up and looked at it, muttering softly, "Something has been added to it again." Su Mo leaned over and saw that her elder sister had bought some rice, flour, and corn. The white flour is obviously yellowish, probably because a lot of corn flour is mixed in. The rice and corn kernels also have a lot of sand, although these things will have some sand, but this is obviously over the limit, and it is obviously artificially added. "Sister, there is so much sand. Why don't you say anything?" The eldest sister smiled bitterly. "How dare I? I only complained once, and a few months later, when I came to buy grain, there was several times more sand than before. Now it's calculated, so I'll just have to make do with it."
"Shomofronet."
Was her elder sister being targeted? Or had it always been like this? "I've come here to buy food a few times before, and there wasn't any problem." "Sister, you know the director of the grain station. They won't dare to give you bad grain. They didn't know I knew the director." "Sister, are you a cadre in your commune?" These days, ordinary people generally call public officials cadres.
"Shomonari."
That's right. They know how to judge people by their appearance. The cadres certainly wouldn't dare to weigh the food as bad. If you don't believe me, look at the others. After a while, the grain of 2 more people was weighed out. Su Mo took a look and found that it was almost the same as her eldest sister's. After a while, Su Mo's was also weighed out. Su Mo took it and felt that the bag of rice was quite heavy, definitely more than 7 jeans, so she asked, "Comrade, did you weigh it wrong?" The man smiled and waved his hand. Yes, I'm watching." The elder sister had not left yet, waiting to see Su Mo's food. When she saw that there was obviously no sand in her food, she said, "Sister, you know Director Yang, can you tell him about this and ask him to take care of this matter? Otherwise, I really won't be able to survive. If you buy 10 kilograms of grain, half a kilogram of sand may be found in good times, and 1 or 2 kilograms may be found in bad times." Su Mo was a little embarrassed. "Well, I'm not very familiar with him. I will report it to him, but I don't know if it will work." She strongly suspected that Yang Yuping was also involved in this matter. As the director of a grain station, it was impossible for him not to know about the situation. "Okay, thank you, sister." After saying that, the elder sister walked away with a sarcastic smile. Su Mo felt really up. It's like having a relative who is a corrupt official and you clearly haven't gained any benefits from him, but just because you are his relative, you are despised and looked down upon. Oh, it can't be said that there is no benefit. The rice just now must be more than 7 kilograms, but she doesn't have a scale now. After returning to the brigade, Su Mo immediately borrowed a scale from the brigade headquarters. After weighing it, she found that the 7 kilograms of rice actually weighed more than 9 kilograms. The 30 kilograms of corn also weighed about 33 kilograms. Seeing Su Mo's unhappy expression, Lu Qing'an asked, "What's wrong? Are you short of weight?" Su Mo shook her head and whispered, "No, it's too much." Lu Qing'an was shocked. There was such a good thing? Then he thought of something and asked in a low voice, "Did Xiaolan's father-in-law give you extra?" Su Mo nodded. "Dad, after dinner, I'll come over to tell you something. Yang Yuping will get into trouble sooner or later if he continues like this. Lu Xiaolan has to hurry up and get a divorce." She had thought that their family was just calculating, but she didn't expect them to be so greedy. Coincidentally, Lu Chongjing also returned in the evening. After the couple finished their meal, They pushed the child to Lu's house. When Su and Mo told them what happened in the afternoon, the three elders all looked unhappy. Especially Lu Boming, who hated corrupt officials the most in his life and never expected to become a relative of such a person. Call Xiaolan back tomorrow and ask her if she knows about this? Lu Boming's face turned pale. Their brigade had grain distribution, and they had never gone to the commune grain station to buy grain, so they had no idea about this. No matter how much Xiaolan wanted to marry him, he would not agree. Li Yue said anxiously, Xiaolan told me some time ago that she wanted a divorce. I wonder if she found out about this? Okay, let her get divorced. Our family won't marry into such a family, Lu Boming said. Fortunately, his granddaughter could tell the difference, so his pain was not in vain. The next day, when Su Mo was at work, she went to the supply and marketing cooperative and told Lu Xiaolan that her parents missed her and asked her to go home and stay for a night. Return the extra grain from yesterday, saying that they had weighed it wrong yesterday and weighed too much, and she would not take advantage of the country. Lu Xiaolan was a little nervous. Since she got married, whenever her family asked her to go back, it was always because of something. But during this period, there seemed to be no happy events at home. After work, Lu Xiaolan said goodbye to Yang Jingming and rode home. Distributing the snacks she brought back to her nephews and nieces, Lu Xiaolan carried the ribs she bought and went to the kitchen to help Li Yue cook. Mom, what's the matter that you called me back? Let's wait until your grandfather and your father come back. Li Yue sighed and patted Lu Xiaolan's back to comfort her. Seeing Li Yue like this, Lu Xiaolan became even more nervous. We have to wait until the men come back. This is a big deal. During the meal, Lu Xiaolan hesitated to speak. Seeing this, Lu Qinggan said, Let's talk after dinner. Lu Xiaolan. Even her favorite steamed pork ribs with taro didn't taste good anymore. After finishing the meal, Lu Xiaolan sat up straight and waited for the three elders to speak. She had thought something had happened at home, but now she knew that they were here for her. Last month, her mother talked to her about divorce again, and she guessed that her mother had told her grandfather and father, and now she was asked to come back to find out. Do you know about the things at the grain station? Lu Boming asked. Lu Xiaolan was stunned and asked, What's the matter? It's about the grain we bought, and something was mixed in it. Lu Xiaolan was stunned and said, I haven't heard of it before, but I have heard some rumors this year. In fact, there were such situations before, but Geng Chongqing was there at that time, and the grain station did not dare to go too far, and it was still within the tolerance of the people, so no one said anything. After Geng Chongqing was transferred this year, the situation became much more serious, and this is why the news leaked out. Does your father-in-law know about this? Lu Boming asked again. Lu Xiaolan was silent. She didn't ask about her father-in-law, since they all lived under the same roof. There were some things she could see. Nutritional supplements at home were definitely not something her father-in-law, a director of a commune grain station, could afford with his salary. Lu Boming closed his eyes. If he had held a glimmer of hope before, thinking that the people below were deceiving their superiors and that his in-laws might not know about it, now he had no illusions at all. Your mother said that you wanted a divorce because of this? Lu Xiaolan shook her head. I hadn't heard about this when I wanted to divorce. I thought about divorce because I saw clearly the character of their family. The whole family is calculating and selfish. Yang Jingming is also selfish and heartless. As long as things are good for him, he can pretend to know nothing and enjoy it calmly.
I'm disappointed.
I feel like I won't end up well if I follow someone like him. Have you made up your mind to get a divorce? Yes, I must get a divorce. Lu Xiaolan nodded vigorously. I'm already thinking of ways to minimize the impact of the divorce, but it will cause my parents and brother and sister-in-law to be talked about for a while. Lu Boming waved his hand. Have you thought of a solution? Lu Xiaolan shook her head. Lu Boming sighed. Go call your three brothers and tell them about this. This is to avoid the situation where one person is thinking about divorce, while the other person is not aware of the situation and is still acting as in-laws. The three Lu Chongjing brothers arrived. Lu Boming told them what had happened, and Lu Xingjuan and Lu Weiguo were shocked. This Jingming is a good person. It's not to the point of getting a divorce, right? Lu Weiguo was a little confused. They're living a good life. Why do they want to get a divorce? Even if Yang Jingming's father did some bad things, he is still his father. What does it have to do with Yang Jingming? Lu Weiguo worked in the commune and would run into Yang Jingming from time to time. Yang Jingming was not a stingy person and often invited Lu Weiguo to the commune canteen for meals, so Lu Weiguo and Yang Jingming had the best relationship among the three brothers. Whether it's good or not, how would you, an outsider, know? Xiaolin lives with him. How could she not know?
Liu retorted.
No, mother. You let Xiaolin be so willful? In all these years in our village, have you ever seen any girl get divorced? Lu Weiguo said. Anyway, he did not agree to divorce. In Lu Weiguo's opinion, Yang Jingming is an excellent brother-in-law. Jingming is good at his job, has a mild temper, is handsome, has no bad habits, is very kind to Xiaolan, and respects our family. How many people can't find such a son-in-law even with a lantern? With a person like this, Xiaolan, instead of living a good life, you want a divorce. You are really too noisy. Lu Weiguo said a little angrily. Xiaolan is really spoiled. She was the one who talked to the guy in the first place, and now she wants a divorce. When Lu Xiaolan heard Lu Weiguo say this, she remained silent, but tears welled up in her eyes. Although she had thought before that her brother might not agree, she was still very sad when she actually heard it. Their family tradition is not good. Xiaolan wants to divorce, and I agree. Lu Boming glanced at Lu Weiguo and said. Lu Weiguo choked. Master, why are you also? What will Xiaolan do after the divorce? Yang Jingming can find another one quickly, but what about Xiaolan? What kind of good family can she find for a second marriage? I'm afraid it will be far worse than Yang Jingming's. If she is not satisfied with her life, will she divorce again? Hearing the sound of Lu Weiguo shooting the knife, Li Wei was really furious. She slapped him and said, Shut up. I know it's not nice to hear, but I'm telling the truth. Have you ever thought about this, Xiaolan?
Brother, I've thought about it.
I won't get married in the future. I'll just stay at home and take care of my parents. I have a job, so it won't be a problem for me to support myself. Lu Weiguo choked again. There is no divorce in our village. If you come back, can you bear the gossip in the village? There's nothing to be unbearable. My second sister-in-law's mother committed adultery and gave birth to an adulterous child. She should live her life the same way. I'm just getting a divorce. I haven't done anything bad. Why can't I stand it? All the words Lu Weiguo said were stuck in his throat. After a long while, he managed to say, Anyway, I don't agree with divorce. Whether you agree or not, the marriage is over. Asked you to come here just to tell you. Don't ruin it accidentally. Seeing that the second brother stood on the other side and did not care about his sister at all, Lu Qing'an was also very angry. Second brother, don't be so naive. You can buy him off with just 2 meals. Once Yang Yoping's affair is investigated, he will inevitably go to labor camp. In serious cases, he will be shot. When that happens, the whole family will suffer. Have you ever thought about what kind of life your sister would have to live through at that time? She would be scolded by others. The more Lu Qing'an thought about it, the angrier he became. He slammed the table, startling Lu Weiguo. Second brother, you really disappoint me. Is there any brother like you? You don't care whether your sister has been wronged or not. Just because someone treats you to a few meals, your heart goes to that person? Xiaolan, haven't you bought enough things for your 2 sons over the years? You forget about the little kindness others show you, but you ignore the efforts of your own family members? I don't ask you to treat Xiaolan like Xiaoma's family did, but you should at least be a human being. Lu Qing'an was also furious and pointed at Lu Weiguo's nose and started scolding him. Really no harm without comparison. After seeing Sumo's family and then looking at his own sons, he really doesn't like them at all. He also knew that such maternal families were rare, and he did not ask his sons to do so, but the second son was really too much of a. Lu Qing'an rarely gets angry, and seeing his father so angry, not only Lu Weiguo, who was scolded, was shocked, but also Lu Xingjuan, who didn't say anything, was scared. Fortunately, before he could even open his mouth, the second brother stepped forward to block the bullet. Lu Xingjuan originally wanted to ask clearly first to see if the conflict could be resolved. If it could be resolved, they would not divorce.
He thought more about it.
After all, he had 2 daughters. If he had a divorced aunt, his daughter's future marriages might be criticized by those with ulterior motives. Okay, you 2 go back and the 3rd son stays. Don't tell anyone about this for now, just keep it to yourself. After a burst of anger, Lu Qing'an felt less upset and waved his hand to let his 2 sons go back. When Lu Xiaolan saw Lu Qing'an getting angry, tears started to fall from her eyes. She was unfilial and made the whole family upset. But she had already done something wrong, and she couldn't continue making such mistakes. Otherwise, who knows how many troubles would be waiting for her in the future. It is better to suffer a short pain than a long one. If you make a mistake, you should stop the loss in time. She is still young, and she has plenty of time to make up for her family. Third brother, your grandfather and I have discussed that it may not be easy for Xiaolan to get a divorce. Do you have any ideas? With their calculations like that and the third brother now in power, they will definitely not let him go easily. He thought about it and decided that if they wanted to get a divorce, they would have to pay a little. Wait a moment, there will be a chance soon. Lu Chongjing said. The county party committee has already started to rectify the situation. As the director of the grain station, Yang Yuping is definitely involved. When the time comes, we can use this as an excuse to negotiate with his family and get a divorce. Lu Qing'an frowned. If something happens to his family, I'm afraid he will be even more unwilling to let it go. No, I'll talk about this when the time comes. Lu Chongjing said. Lu Qing'an patted Lu Chongjing on the shoulder. Third brother, thank you for your hard work. Lu Chongjing waved his hands. As an elder brother, doing these things was nothing. Yang Yuping is just the director of a small grain station in a commune. In the whole chain, he is just a small follower. Whether the punishment is heavy or light is not just a matter of the above sentence. After listening to Sumo's story about the grain station yesterday, Lu Chongjing went to find Geng Chongqing today and reported the situation to him. Geng Chongqing also gave him some information, asking him to wait and it would be resolved soon. Geng Chongqing has been so busy recently because he is doing this. In fact, this situation of grain stations is not uncommon across the country. They are known as the Northern Granary, with sufficient grain, and the situation is relatively good. Some cities that are not major grain-producing provinces, when the grain stations release grain at the beginning of each month, it is like a war. Those who are slow cannot even buy grain. No one cares about the quality of the grain, they are lucky enough to be able to buy it. Otherwise, you have to buy expensive grain on the black market. Therefore, those who work in companies with canteens are willing to eat there, even if it is a little more expensive than cooking by themselves, but at least they don't have to worry about whether they can buy food. The grain station is under the management of the Grain Bureau. At present, the Grain Bureau of Shuangshan City is still under the control of the Revolutionary Committee. Geng Chongqing also cooperated with secretariats in this time to clean up the grain stations in Shuangshan City. Although it was not a big sweep, it was still possible to clean up a group of termites and give them a beating. In this way, they would be more restrained and then slowly plot later. After being scolded, Lu Weiguo returned to the house angrily. When Lu Hohot asked what happened, Lu Weiguo told her what happened. Only you know how life is and outsiders can't understand it. Xiaolan and Jingming are in love freely, and she has thought about divorce, which means she really can't live like this anymore. I don't think you should object. Lu Weiguo was stunned. You also agree with her getting a divorce? I agree. Her life is her own. If she feels that she can't live like this anymore, then she can just get a divorce. Lu Weiguo was stunned. He felt a little dazed and began to doubt himself. Everyone agrees except him. Is he really such a bad person? In fact, Lu Hohot also has her own little thoughts. It's already September, and her mother should be back soon. If Lu Xiaolan got divorced and became the first person in the brigade to get divorced, everyone would stop focusing their attention on her mother, and their lives would be better. As for Xiaolan, she should pay more attention to her, and if someone says something bad about her, she should help to confront them. Moreover, if Lu Xiaolan got divorced, Lu Hohot would feel that she had an ally in the Lu family. If both of them have stains, then she won't be unable to hold her head up in the Lu family. After Lu Xingjuan returned, He told Lu Yuji about the matter, and Lu Yuji immediately frowned. She was more concerned about her daughter's marriages. Lu Fengqin is already 10 years old this year. Children in the countryside get married early, and most girls get married at the age of 17 or 18. This may seem like a long time, but time passes very quickly. Can't we just make do with this? Lu Yuji asked. Lu Xingjuan waved his hands. No. Yang Yuping broke the law. Dad said that if it's minor, he will be sent to a labor camp, and if it's serious, he will be shot. It's better to divorce him as soon as possible so as not to implicate our family. I have been in charge of the brigade's money all these years. Now that I have such a relative, I don't want people to think that I am also a corrupt person. As God is my witness, he has never embezzled even a penny from the brigade. Do you think our house is not well built? Look at the second wife and Xiaolan. What kind of marriage is this? Lu Yuji was also upset. From now on, she would be criticized again. Why are you saying all this? We don't believe in feudal superstitions anymore. This is what happens when you don't listen to your parents when you get married. You were chosen by my mother, and I found out everything about you. How great. There were no worries, and life was going smoothly. Lu Yuji glared at him. Now you know I'm fine? Lu Xingjuan chuckled. But it's not entirely true. Look at the third brother's family. He chose it himself. Look how good their life is. That's different. The third child has been very shrewd since he was young. Weigua and Xiaolan's vision can never compare with the third child.
Oh.
I hope Xiaolan can resolve the divorce issue quickly so that she can live a peaceful and stable life. Lu Xingjuan sighed. 2 more days passed. That day, Su Mo was writing a project report in the office. Secretary Deng Heng came down to find her and asked her to go to Fu Ming's office to answer the phone. The call was from Geng Chongqing, who said he had something to discuss with her and asked her to come over. When Su Mo heard this, she understood and immediately rode her bike to the county and gave the letter written by Su Tingqian and Zhang Zhen to Geng Chongqing, asking him to make the arrangements. Geng Chongqing didn't expect Su Mo to come so quickly. Have you been carrying the letter with you all the time? Su Mo nodded. I sewed a secret compartment in my bag, and I keep everything in there. She kept the letter in the secret compartment, waiting for news from Geng Chongqing. Geng Chongqing smiled soothingly. Don't worry, Xiaoma, it will be done soon. If you have anything to give them, make arrangements in the next few days. When the time comes, we'll notify you, and they'll pick you up right away. Su Mo nodded. The autumn harvest is about to begin. I hope we can go faster and pick people up before the harvest. This year, the harvest started later. She heard from Li Yue that the Lujia village brigade expected to start the harvest around the 10th, and other brigades were expected to start at about the same time. Today is already the 4th. I don't know if it's too late. Geng Chongqing was very busy. After giving Su Mo some pointers on her work, he let her go back. On the way back, Su Mo was thinking about what to prepare. I won't buy anything. It's so far to Yangqing, and it's very inconvenient to carry it on the train. Besides, my uncle must have already made arrangements there. After much thought, I decided that it would be best to prepare more money and tickets for them. If they are short of money, they can buy them when they arrive in Guangzhou. She had hardly used the national tickets that her aunt had exchanged for her, and now she had a lot left, which was just right for her to take to them. Su Mo was thinking about something when she suddenly heard someone calling her. Sister Su.
Sister Su.
Su Mo turned around and saw that it was Sister Lu from the County Supply and Marketing Cooperative. She quickly stopped to greet her. Sister Lu, long time no see. How are you these days? Sister Lu ran over quickly. Very good, very good. Sister Su, why haven't you come for a long time? Sister thought you went somewhere else. I was a bit busy at work, so I didn't come. Girl, the autumn harvest is coming soon. Do you still have any fruits? Sister Lu asked in a low voice. Su Mo smiled and said no more. Sister Lu felt a little sorry because at the beginning of the year, the transport team was reorganized and her business was not so good. She thought Sister Su would have other opportunities. Really? Sister Lu was unwilling to give up. Don't worry, I'm safe. Even if something happens, I won't involve you. Su Mo shook her head. It's really gone. There's not even enough for me to eat. Sister Lu gave up. Not everyone is as brave as her. Then, she put on a smile again. Sister Sue, if you need anything, remember to come to me. As long as it's not too difficult to get, I can find it for you. Sister, the supervision has been so strict recently. Aren't you afraid? This is a man who values money over life. Since Uncle Gung took office, the county has become much stricter. Oh, I'm just meeting the needs of friends and relatives and buying some things for them. I haven't done anything harmful. Sister Lu waved her hand. Sister Lu said, is this considered an alternative form of purchasing on behalf of others in this era? With Sister Lu for a few words, Su Mo went back. The next day, Su Mo prepared the money and went to the experimental field in Lijiao in the afternoon. She had already harvested most of the vegetables in the experimental field, and the rest were used to keep seeds. She would come to check on them occasionally. Because the autumn harvest was almost around the corner, the production team wanted everyone to get enough rest, so they finished work early in the afternoon. Su Mo found an excuse and went to the cowshed. Seeing that there was no one around, she quickly slipped into the room and handed the prepared banknotes and passbook to Su Tingqian. Mom and Dad, Uncle Gung sent out the letter yesterday. I think someone will come to pick you up in a few days. Here are the money notes I prepared for you. They will be useful when you get to Yangcheng. I didn't take too much because I was worried about the safety on the road. I will send it to you after you settle down in Yangcheng. Su Mo prepared 200 yuan in cash and various tickets for daily use for her parents and Zhang Zhan respectively. These 2 passbooks were given to me by you. Take them with you. My uncle has someone in High City. You can ask him to ask someone to withdraw them when the time comes. Su Tingqian took the passbook with 3,000 yuan and handed the one with 80,000 yuan back to Su Momo. Take this passbook. When you can return to High City in the future, you can take it out. Dad originally wanted to leave this money for you as a dowry.
Zu Montag was Stund.
Shouldn't I give half of this to my uncle? Your uncle has it, and this was distributed to our family. Now, Dad will give it to you.
Su Tingqian said.
Okay, then I'll keep it.
Thank you, Dad.
I will use it as capital when the time comes and give shares to my parents when I have a company. Mom and Dad, when you get to Yangcheng and settle down, please call me. I wrote the brigade's phone number in the envelope containing the money. Su Tingqian nodded and looked at Su Mo with reluctance. He didn't know how long it would take for him to see his daughter again. Momo, when Enin and Lele grow up, bring them to Guangzhou to visit their parents. Mo Yurong already had tears in her eyes. Mom and Dad, Changjing said that he will most likely be transferred to the Yangcheng military region next year. If he succeeds in the transfer, I will follow him there. Su Mo hurriedly talked about this. Really? Both of them showed joy in their eyes. Su Mo nodded. You must take good care of yourselves. We will be reunited soon. I won't come over these few days if I have nothing to do. At this critical moment, it's better to be cautious. Su Mo hugged the 2 of them and hurried out. Before leaving, she went to the fertile area to take a look around. 5 days later, the Qingxi County Revolutionary Committee received a telegram regarding the rehabilitation of Su Tingqian and 3 others. Qingxi County Revolutionary Committee checked. They found that the 4 people were all in the Lijiao cowshed, so they quickly drove their car to pick them up. As for the rest, they have also been arranged. After they get on the train, they will receive a transfer order to go to Guangzhou. We're arranged to pick them up at Haisha railway station where also their people, and they would bring the transfer order directly to them. After the 4 of them got the transfer order, they didn't need to leave the railway station. They could just buy tickets to Yangcheng. The Revolutionary Committee arrived. The Lijiao production team was mobilizing for the autumn harvest. The harvest was to begin tomorrow, so the members had to be mobilized. Seeing a car coming, which seemed to be a county cadre, Captain Li hurried to greet it. Upon learning that they were there to pick up several comrades from the cowshed, Captain Li quickly called the people from the cowshed and asked them to go back and pack up first. Fortunately, Secretary Gung had reminded him of this at the beginning, and he restrained the villagers and did not do anything to the people in the cowshed. Seeing that the people in the cowshed were about to be taken away, the members of Lijiao had different thoughts. Some of those who had secretly oppressed them began to panic. They heard that these people were high-ranking officials before they came down, and now they were going back. They didn't know whether they would retaliate against them. The Revolutionary Committee official who came to pick them up was very nice. He told them to go back and pack up slowly and not to rush, and to come down after they had finished packing. Those who can be rehabilitated all have people behind them, and they cannot afford to offend them. Few days, and they only took clothes and daily necessities. They gave the remaining food and bedding to Teacher Gu and his wife, leaving them for the people who came to the cowshed later. Only those who have been in the cowshed can understand the hardships of the cowshed. If you leave more things, perhaps more people will survive. Old Gu, we are leaving now. Take care of yourselves. Su Tingqian's eyes were a little moist. Make sure you hide the food well. Don't be reluctant to eat. Your health is important. Teacher Gu had also studied abroad, and he got along very well with Su Tingqian. He often helped and protected the couple. After nearly a year of getting along, the two had formed a deep friendship in times of trouble. Things will get better. We'll see each other again someday. Yes. Teacher Gu nodded, tears already in her eyes. I wish you peace and success. My daughter will be here for a while. I will write to her and ask her to come here occasionally. After thinking about it, Su Tingqian said it. As soon as they left, all the work in the cowshed fell on the two of them. Lao Gu and his wife were both good people, and they didn't want him to ruin his health. No need. The cowshed is not a good place. She can only take risks with you here. After you leave, don't let her come again. You left enough things behind. If we save them, they will be enough for 1 or 2 years. Teacher Gu waved his hand. When they were sent down to the countryside, they were almost driven away. They took almost nothing with them except clothes and bedding, and only had a few dozen yuan on them. If it weren't for Su Tingqian and his friends, they wouldn't have had such a good life this year. He already owed them enough, and he didn't know if they would have a chance to be vindicated, so he could repay their help. Let's go. Take care of yourself in the future. Teacher Gu turned his back and wiped the corners of his eyes. Xiao Gu, take care. Zhang Jin said. Teacher Gu turned his back and wiped the corners of his eyes. Xiao Gu, take care. Zhang Jin said. The Gu family suffered this misfortune because they had offended someone. It was easy to solve the problem. It all depended on the attitude of the higher-ups. Take care of yourself. After saying take care, several people carried their luggage and walked out of the cowshed that had borne their suffering and humiliation and strode downstairs. They reached the corner. Su Tingqian looked back and found that the old Gu couple had been standing up. He couldn't protect himself now and couldn't help them. He just hoped that the plan of Big Brother and his team could go smoothly, and once the evil ghost was defeated, the wronged people could see the light again. When Su Tingqian and others were being rehabilitated, the movement to rectify the grain stations in Shuangshan City also began. Piles of detailed evidence were placed in front of those people. The entire Revolutionary Committee of Shuangshan City became a little chaotic, especially the Revolutionary Committee of Qingxi County, which was in a complete mess. This is exactly the effect Gung Chongqing wants. No matter if the other party has spies here or not, once chaos breaks out, he won't have time to notify the other side in time. This time difference is what he wants. Other party received the notice and made arrangements. He had already sent the person away. The other party did indeed bribe a spy in Qingxi County, but because of the grain station incident, he only heard the news the next day. It was too late to stop him. Su Tingqian and his companions had already boarded the train, so he had to quickly call High City. However, as soon as that person left, a melee broke out among several forces in High City. When the news reached there, no one paid much attention. By the time someone reacted and reported it, a week had passed. After the man got the news, he was not too angry. Instead, he returned to Haisher, which made it easier to control the situation. Although Hongqi Commune is a small place, with the adopted son and son-in-law of the Su family, it is very difficult for his people to infiltrate. These two people are also difficult to deal with. There is nothing wrong with their backgrounds. They have their own backers behind them. He can't easily touch them. However, when he learned that Su Tingqian and his companions had arrived in High City and had not even left the train station, they received a transfer order and went to Yangcheng. His face looked extremely ugly, and he was so angry that he smashed several teacups. But he had just arrived in Beijing, so he didn't dare to go too far for fear of being discovered. After thinking about it, the man made another call and said a few words into the phone. After hanging up the phone, a fierce light flashed in the man's eyes. He was only after money, and if the Su family cooperated, he would not kill them all. Now that the Su family is playing this trick on him, don't blame him. The reason why that person could get to his current position was that he knew how to win people's hearts and was generous to his subordinates. He also had a group of lackeys who specialized in eliminating dissidents and making profits for him, and these required a lot of money to support them. Relying on that person's salary, it's not even a drop in the bucket. So, that person took advantage of the situation and made money everywhere. The reason why he was so anxious to attack the Su family was because he had established a new relationship and needed a lot of money. That man was powerful and didn't care that much about money. Most of what he plundered was distributed to his subordinates. He didn't have much savings on his hands, so he was anxious to find more income. At the beginning, he didn't target the Su family. After all, the Su family was too famous in High City, and they might be retaliated against. Finally decided to take action against the Su family after he was told that the Su family had hidden a large number of antiques and gold bars. However, his people searched the Su family's house and dug the yard, and they found nothing even though they were about to dig 3 feet underground. He even suspected that he was being tricked. Originally, now that he was in power, he no longer needed so much money, and he was going to put the Su family's affairs aside. But the Su family's actions made him feel that his authority was challenged. That man is now at the peak of his career, and he has become a little inflated. How can he tolerate this humiliation? He must take revenge. Yang Yuping was taken away while he was having dinner. Fang Chunfang was so scared that she quickly asked Lu Xiaolan to go back to her parents' home to find Lu Chongzheng, and asked Yang Jingming to go to the county town to find Yang Limin. Yang Jingming was also very panicked. He quickly pushed his bicycle and left. Lu Xiaolan chased after him and stopped him, pretending to be puzzled, and asked, "Jingming, what's going on? How should I tell my third brother?" Yang Jingming was startled and seemed to find it difficult to speak. He said vaguely, "It's nothing. Dad just took some food. Isn't this corruption and theft? How could Dad do such a thing? We all have salaries and we can afford to buy food. Let's go and make up the money for the food and see if we can get leniency." Yang Jingming was a little embarrassed. "Xiaolan, now is not the time to talk about this. Go find your third brother and ask him to protect my dad. If anything happens to my dad, we may not be able to keep our jobs." Yang Jingming's words destroyed the last bit of affection Lu Xiaolan had for him. It turned out that he had always known what his father was doing, but he never tried to stop him. Instead, he enjoyed it with a clear conscience. Now that something had happened, he wanted to drag her family into it and even used her job as an excuse. Is this a threat to her third brother? Dream on. Lu Xiaolan curled her lips and said, "Okay, I'll pack up and go back." Lu Xiaolan returned to her room, packed the money and passbook she had saved over the past 2 years, and also packed a few sets of clothes for changing, then went out and pushed her bicycle to go home. Fang Chunfang was surprised to see Lu Xiaolan holding a bundle. "Xiaolan, what are you doing with a bundle?" Then he slapped his head and said, "Is it a gift? There are some in Mother's room. I'll get you some more." He forgot to get him a gift when his son left just now. He was really flustered. After saying that, he hurried into the room but was stopped by Lu Xiaolan. "My family doesn't accept gifts. I brought clothes for changing. My third sister-in-law said today that my third brother won't be home for the next 2 days. I went back to call him, but he won't be back until midnight." "Oh, then you go quickly," Fang Chunfang said. She felt a little uncomfortable. Such a big thing happened at home, and the daughter-in-law was still thinking about taking a bath. Lu Xiaolan rode back in the dark. Fortunately, the moon was bright today, and the road had been paved when she received foreign guests last time, so the journey was smooth. Li Yue felt nervous when she saw her daughter coming back late at night. Lu Xiaolan looked relaxed and said to Lu Qinggan, "Dad, I want to call my third brother." Lu Qinggan nodded and led Lu Xiaolan to the brigade headquarters. On the way, he asked what happened. Yang Jingming's father was arrested during dinner. Lu Xiaolan said it has finally come to this. Lu Xiaolan called Lu Chongjing and asked her what to do. Lu Chongjing told her to stay at home for the next 2 days, not to go to work and to take sick leave, and he would take care of other things. Yang Jingming went to Yang Limin's in-laws' house and found that the atmosphere there was not good either. After asking Yang Limin, he learned that her father-in-law had not come back today. When the family went to inquire about it, they could not find out what happened. "Brother, why are you here so late at night?"
Yang Limin asked.
"Dad was taken away during dinner, and Mom asked me to come here, so that you can think of a solution." Yang Limin was shocked. Why did something happen in her mother's family at this time? The matter of her husband's family has not been settled yet. If she brings up the matter of her own family at this time, she will probably be scolded by her mother-in-law. However, Yang Limin still comforted Yang Jingming. "Okay, I'll think of a solution. You go back first, and I'll go back tomorrow to check. Tell Mom not to worry too much. Dad knows how to act." Yang Jingming nodded, rode his bike back, and told his mother what Yang Liming had said. Fang Chunfang nodded to show that she understood, and asked Yang Jingming to go back to his room and sleep. Fang Chunfang got over her initial panic. She calmed down. The old man was always slippery in his dealings and didn't handle many things directly, so he shouldn't have been able to find much evidence. The mother and son did not sleep well that night. They got up early in the morning waiting for news from Lu Xiaolan, but when it was almost time to go to work, Lu Xiaolan did not come back. "I see. Your wife doesn't care about our family at all." Fang Chunfang muttered and waved her hand to tell Yang Jingming to go to work quickly. Yang Jingming went to the supply and marketing cooperative first, wanting to ask Lu Xiaolan about the situation. He happened to see Su and Mo coming out, and he greeted her awkwardly. "Third sister-in-law. You came at the right time. I was just planning to look for you later." Xiaolan went home last night and got caught in a cold and got frightened. She developed a fever in the middle of the night. I just asked for leave for her. "Is it serious?"
Yang Jingming asked nervously.
"After taking the medicine, the fever should go away. You won't have caught a cold. You need to rest for at least 2 days. It's my fault. I shouldn't have let her go home so late at night." Yang Jingming said embarrassedly and then asked, "Third sister-in-law, then?" Chongjing said he would take some time to go to the county today.
Su and Mo said.
Lu Chongjing had said that he would be the one to handle the matter. After all, she and Yang Jingming were colleagues, so she had to do what she wanted. In order to avoid a quarrel, the other party would hold a grudge against her. Yang Jingming breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this. After getting off work at noon, he hurried back home to see if his elder sister had any ideas. As a result, Yang Limin never went home. Fang Chunfang asked about Lu Xiaolan again and learned that she had a fever. She said angrily, "None of these two people are useful when the critical moment comes." "Mom, Xiaolan's sister-in-law said that her third brother will go to the county today." Fang Chunfang's face looked better after hearing this. "Hurry up and eat. After dinner, take some food to see your wife." Yang Jingming ate his meal, took his things, and hurriedly rode his bike to Lujia village. Of course, they did the whole thing. Lu Xiaolan stayed in the room today to help take care of An and Lulu, while Li Yue took advantage of the autumn harvest to earn some work points. Hearing Yang Jingming's voice, Lu Xiaolan quickly lay down on the kong, covered herself with the quilt, put the hot towel that Li Yue had brought in not long ago on her forehead, closed her eyes, and pretended to sleep. Yang Jingming put the things on the table in the main room and chatted with Lu Qing'an for a few words. Seeing that his father-in-law and mother-in-law had a cold attitude towards him, he felt a little embarrassed for a moment. "Mom, I'll go see Xiaolan for a while." "Go. She has caught a cold. Don't wake her up, let her rest. She will get better soon."
"Hey."
Yang Jingming nodded and entered Lu Xiaolan's room. Seeing Lu Xiaolan sleeping on the kong, her face was a little red. When I touched her forehead, it was quite hot. It seemed that she was seriously ill. "It's hard for her." Yang Jingming sighed, tucked in the corners of Lu Xiaolan's quilt, and went out again. After talking to Lu Qinggan and his wife for a while, He rode his bike back to the commune to work. After Yang Jingming left, Li Wei felt very uncomfortable. He looked like a good person, why did he? Poor girl Xiaolan, who knows what to do in the future. The second brother's words were unpleasant to hear. Some of his words were correct. It would be difficult for this girl to find a marriage partner in the future. After Yang Yuping was taken away, he cried out that he was innocent when faced with the interrogation of the investigators. Comrade, I am more wronged than Do Yi. The grain distributed here has sand in it, and the weight is not enough. I have reported this matter several times. You can check it out. I admit that I asked my subordinates to add sand to the mix. What else could I do if I didn't? Where can I get food to fill the gap? I have no other choice, comrade. Yang Yuping rose from a small employee to the director of the grain station. He understood all the twists and turns involved. The grain station has been a confusing place since ancient times. He did many things halfway and kept the other half, sometimes true and sometimes false, just for the day when he could get away. We found out that someone in your grain station was reselling grain. The investigators placed the evidence they found in front of Yang Yuping. After seeing it, Yang Yuping exclaimed that it was impossible. This is impossible, comrade, are you mistaken? I admit that I added sand. I have no other choice. I take the responsibility. It has nothing to do with other people in the grain station. They just follow my orders. But you mentioned reselling grain. That's absolutely impossible. We will never do anything that infringes on national assets. Yang Yuping looked around as he spoke, and when he saw that there was no evidence directly pointing to him, he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. These witnesses and physical evidence have been verified. Comrade, are you sure you didn't make a mistake? These two are usually very honest and hardworking. I don't believe they would do such a thing. Yang Yuping started playing Tai Chi with the investigators. After a while, when other investigators came with testimonies from other grain station employees identifying Yang Yuping again cried out that he was innocent, looking as if he was framed and heartbroken. After Lu Chongjing finished dealing with the army's affairs, he went to find Geng Chongqing. Because he had greeted Geng Chongqing before, when he saw Lu Chongjing, Geng Chongqing said directly, Yang Yuping is extremely cunning. Apart from the confession of an employee who clearly pointed to him, there is no other evidence that actually points to him. His house has a lot of high-end cigarettes, alcohol, and tea. These things are far beyond the range of what he can afford with his salary. If we apply to search his house, we can get evidence. Geng Chongqing waved his hand. He took the initiative to tell me that he bought these things himself, using the money his father left behind. We checked with the credit union and the supply and marketing cooperative, and they roughly match. I'm afraid Yang Yuping started setting up smoke bombs early in the morning. Secretary Tsin meant that we should arrest a few people this time to set an example and give them a warning. We can't arrest all of them.
There are almost no clean people on this line.
If we arrest them all, the whole Shuangshan city will be in turmoil. Sometimes it is so helpless. You know that the other party has a problem, even if there is no obvious evidence, but if you dig deeper, you can still find evidence. But for the sake of the overall situation, you can only endure and not take any action. A single move affects the entire body. Some things can only be planned slowly. Moreover, small minions like Yang Yuping are not the main targets. Basically, they're just given a small punishment and a warning. They will not go to great lengths to dig up evidence because they do not have that many people. So your relative will probably only receive 2 punishments at most, a demotion, and won't even have to go through labor reform. Geng Chongqing smiled tiredly. If we want to achieve peace and prosperity, it is like a long march, and there is still a long way to go. You have affected the interests of too many people. You should be careful too. Ask your superiors for 2 guards. Some people are so cruel that they dare not do anything. Geng Chongqing waved his hand. It has been arranged. His 2 secretaries were both specially trained and sent by their superiors to protect him. There were many people who wanted to cause trouble for him. Yang Yuping, could you please keep him in custody for 2 more days? Don't let anyone else get in touch with him, especially the second in command of the Revolutionary Committee. Lu Chongjing asked. Geng Chongqing thought for a moment and said, Okay, but you'd better do it as soon as possible. Okay, thanks. If you need help, give me a call. Geng Chongqing waved his hand. Okay, I'll find you if I need you. It is better not to combine the military and politics too closely, lest someone with ulterior motives take advantage of the situation and falsely accuse one of them of having counter-revolutionary intentions, which would be troublesome. After Lu Chongjing returned, he drove to Yang's house with Li Yue and Lu Qingyan in the evening. Yang Jingming went home to get his clothes and was about to go to Lujia village to take care of Lu Xiaolan in the evening. When he saw his third uncle and his father-in-law and mother-in-law coming, he suddenly had a bad feeling. Because Yang Jingming said that Lu Chongzheng went to the county town to run errands for them, Fang Chunfang warmly welcomed him in. Well, my in-laws, is there any news about my nephew? Fang Chunfang asked, suppressing her panic.
Yes.
Lu Chongzheng's expression was serious. Comrade Yang Yoping's case has irrefutable evidence. He could be sentenced to several years of labor reform at the very least, or even to death by gunfire at the worst. Fang Chunfang and Yang Jingming were shocked. How could the situation be so serious? Nephew, you have to save your Uncle Yang. He is also Xiaolan's father. Fang Chunfang panicked. The old man was always careful in doing things. How could this happen? No wonder my daughter went to find out anything but found nothing. Aunt Fang, you know my grandfather. He's been a revolutionary for many years and can't stand this kind of thing. He has already given Xiaolan an ultimatum. Either divorce or sever ties with our family. This was the solution that Lu Chongzheng discussed with the three elders in the afternoon. They pushed the responsibility onto the older generation. After all, Xiaolan would still have to work at the supply and marketing cooperative in the future. Yang Jingming was horrified. Third brother, how can this be possible? I will not divorce Xiaolan. There are many people involved in this matter, and it can be resolved. Can you help me with some connections? Secretary Geng is your wife's uncle. Whether my father can be released or not is not just a matter of his words, right? Yang Jingming is not completely ignorant. There are many people involved in this matter, so it is not impossible for him to get out of it. Lu Chongzheng glanced at him sharply and said contemptuously, Do you think I am you? Nephew, what's the meaning of your visit today? Fang Chunfang's smile also disappeared. You want to distance yourself from her because something happened in her family? No way.
Divorce.
Fang Chunfang sneered. The two children have a good relationship. Why do you want a divorce? Jingming will not agree to a divorce. Husband and wife should share the joys and sorrows. It is unacceptable to divorce just because something happened at home. Husband and wife should share the joys and sorrows, but they should not be involved in corruption. Lu Qingyan said, We are a clean and upright family, and we cannot stand your behavior. We don't want to associate with people who embezzle, steal, and infringe on the interests of the country and the people. Fang Chunfang sneered, It's too late to show your disdain for them now. Why are you pretending to be so noble? If you have the ability, don't accept their gifts. Suddenly, Fang Chunfang was startled. It seemed that every time she asked Lu Xiaolan to take something back, except for the time during the Chinese New Year, that girl almost never took it. It turns out that we had been prepared for this. No wonder that girl has been looking down on her less and less recently. Fang Chunfang gritted her teeth in hatred and said, Divorce is impossible. She would drag it out until Lu Xiaolan died. Whether Comrade Yang Yuping is sentenced to labor reform or shot is just a matter of a word. Lu Chongzheng said coldly. Fang Chunfang and Yang Jingming were so shocked that they stood up. This Lu Chongzheng was so cruel. We agree to divorce, but I have a condition. Being threatened, Fang Chunfang was so angry that she squeezed out the words through her teeth.
Mom,
Yang Jingming didn't want to divorce Lu Xiaolan. Shut up. Fang Chunfang cursed. If you rescue Lao Yang, we will agree to divorce. Lu Chongzheng frowned and pondered for a long time, looking very embarrassed. This is just once, and we are even from now on. You can't harass Xiaolan, otherwise I can rescue him and send him back in. Lu Xiaolan was not completely unprepared. After hearing the rumors this year, she also collected some evidence. She had planned to use this to force Yang Jingming to divorce when she had enough evidence.
Deal.
Fong Chunfong gritted her teeth. Okay, let's get the divorce tomorrow morning. No, we have to let old Yang out first. Lu Chongjing sneered. I don't believe you, but I always keep my word. The two sides reached an agreement. Li Yue said, I'll take Xiaolan's things back first. I'll see you at the commune tomorrow morning. Fong Chunfong sneered. Jingming, go and help clean up. Yang Jingming sat there motionless, tears in his eyes. Why did they suddenly have to get a divorce? It wasn't like the family issues couldn't be resolved. Why were they forcing him like this? I won't get a divorce. Yang Jingming said. We raised you to this age, and you want to watch your father die? Fong Chunfong asked hatefully. This stupid guy, can't he see that his wife's heart has long been gone? But seeing her son's expression, she couldn't point it out at once, so she could only talk to him slowly later. Now it was important to rescue old Yang. Yang Jingming lowered his head and said nothing. Seeing him like that, Fong Chunfong got up and went to pack up with Li Yue. Lu Xiaolan took away all the valuables when she returned, leaving only clothes and shoes. Li Yue took a large bag and packed up the rest. Fong Chunfong watched coldly, and when she saw that Li Yue did not take anything she shouldn't have, she snorted and left. The next day, Lu Chongjing and Li Yue accompanied Lu Xiaolan to the commune office to get a divorce from Yang Jingming. Yang Jingming looked as if he had lost his parents and looked at Lu Xiaolan hesitantly, but with Fong Chunfong watching, he finally signed. Forget it. Rescue his father first, and then remarry Xiaolan later. As long as they have each other in their hearts, no matter how big the obstacles are, they are not a problem. Lu Xiaolan didn't expect it to be so smooth. She only felt relieved when she got the divorce certificate with the seal. Divorce certificates from the 1970s finally divorced. I will live a good life on my own from now on, be filial to my parents and grandfather, and remember my third brother and his wife. Leaving, Fong Chunfong said coldly, Remember what you said yesterday. Lu Chongjing nodded. He will be back tomorrow. During the busy autumn harvest, the Lujia village team had a new topic of conversation after dinner. The secretary's daughter got divorced and returned to her parents' home. Aunties would often spread gossip in the fields. Tell me, how could the party secretary agree to let me go? His son-in-law is so good. He is tall and handsome, and he is also a cadre of the commune. He is also very kind. He greeted me the last time he saw me. That's right. She divorced me because she had such a hard-to-find son-in-law. If it were my daughter, I would have taken her back even if I had to tie her up. It's really shameful. There has never been a divorce in our brigade. If my daughter dared to come home, I would break her legs. What do you think? Could it be that there was something wrong with Lu Xiaolan and she was divorced by the man? Someone whispered. Look, her third brother got married later than her, and now he has 2 children, but Lu Xiaolan's belly is still not moving. After hearing this, several people thought it was possible. Who would want a hen that doesn't lay eggs? Duant talk nonsense. It was the old branch secretary who asked for the divorce. The man's father committed a crime. You all know the old branch secretary. He can't tolerate any sand in his eyes. An aunt who had a good relationship with Li Yue said quickly. Li Yue was also very concerned about her daughter's reputation. She found a few aunts with whom she had a good relationship and cried to them that day, asking them to help explain when gossip spread in the brigade. Committed a crime? What crime? The man's father worked at the grain station. He was said to have mixed sand into the grain and was caught. Isn't this harming people? Everyone is hungry, and you're still mixing sand into the grain. When the old branch secretary knew about the kind of people his in-laws were, he immediately asked Lu Xiaolan to choose, divorce or sever ties. Lu Xiaolan is a filial daughter, so we can only get a divorce. Why add sand to the grain? Some people didn't react. You stupid old woman. Everyone buys grain by the kilogram. If you mix sand in, then the extra grain will belong to him, right? Oh, isn't this taking advantage of socialism and committing corruption? I really don't want to get along with people like that. All the aunts responded in agreement. I don't know what everyone is thinking, but on the surface, they all seem to hate corruption and theft. The old branch secretary is right to do this, but it's a pity for Lu Xiaolan. She is such a good girl, but now she is married for the second time. From now on, I'm afraid she will have to marry a widower. That's right. So when it comes to marriage, you really have to be careful. Otherwise, it will ruin your daughter's life. Li Yue is very smart. Why didn't she see it at the beginning? Lu Xiaolan was the one who negotiated with him. Besides, it's impossible for him to spread his corruption everywhere. We ordinary people can't tell. Lu Xiaolan has been married for so long, she should know about it, right? Why are they asking for a divorce now that something bad has happened? Someone started to have some ulterior motives. This old branch secretary
Didn't seem so upright.
He has someone above him, so he kept it a secret. Lu Xiaolan's father-in-law was arrested, and she came back to her parents' home to ask for help. Only then did she find out what happened. Lu Chongjing felt sorry for his sister, so he went to the county to find someone and asked him about it. The old branch secretary is an old revolutionary, and Lu Chongjing is a senior military officer. How can they marry such a person? Lu Xiaolan can only get a divorce. It is said that someone from above is protecting him, and he will probably be released in 2 days. Now that the person has been released, why get a divorce? Wouldn't this harm my daughter's life? You don't understand. People like this will be punished sooner or later. Why don't you leave now while you can still get away? Instead of leaving later, when your whole family is dragged into this? If it were me, I would let my daughter and her husband separate, and I would live on my own. The old branch secretary was still too inflexible. I only have one son. How can I divide the family? That's better than letting my daughter get divorced. How can she get married in the future? Which good family would marry a divorced woman? Li Tsuehua was working and listening to everyone's discussions. Her heart was filled with joy. I thought I would be suppressed by Li Yue for the rest of my life, but I didn't expect such a sudden turn of events. Her 2 daughters did not marry as well as Lu Xiaolan. At least they lived a stable life and had children. Unlike Li Yue, who only had 1 daughter and loved her terribly since she was a child, now she is divorced and is still a hen that doesn't lay eggs. I'm afraid I won't be able to find a good family in the future. Who knows? I will have to rely on my parents for the rest of my life and become an old aunt. Don't say that. Xiaolan is pretty and has a job, earning over 20 yuan a month. How many people in our team can be like her? Besides, her father is the party secretary, her brothers all have jobs, and Lu Lao-san is a high-ranking officer, so how can she not get married? I'm afraid a lot of people are dreaming of this opportunity to marry an officer. Seeing that Li Tsuehua actually spoke well of Lu Xiaolan, everyone was very surprised. Li Tsuehua, you have changed your personality? When Lu Xiaolan was a girl, she often helped Li Yue to fight against Li Tsuehua. I'm telling the truth. You country girls are short-sighted. If this happened in the city, a girl with such conditions would probably have someone coming to propose marriage to her the next day. Li Tsuehua's words made many aunts think about it. Yes. Although Lu Xiaolan is a second marriage, it doesn't stop her from having good parents. If she marries the useless girl from her family, maybe her parents will help her out. Li Tsuehua watched and smiled secretly in her heart. It would be better if more people went to propose marriage. This cracked egg has been bitten by a swarm of flies and will eventually be thrown away. Day after Lu Xiaolan and Yang Jingming divorced, Yang Yuping was indeed released. With Yang Yuping came back his disciplinary notice. He was given 2 serious warnings, demoted 1 level, and removed from his position as director, becoming deputy director. Yang Yuping was satisfied with the result. As long as he was not sentenced and his son's future development was not affected, it would be fine. He had been at the grain station for so many years, and he had earned enough. He just needed to follow the rules in the future. He is old and will never be promoted in his life. He just has a job, and when he can no longer do it, he can give it to his daughter or sell it. At this time, there was no such thing as retirement. Although the country had promulgated the labor insurance regulations at the beginning, people at that time all wanted to contribute more to the country and do more work. Almost no one thought about retiring when they reached a certain age and receiving money from the country. Until 1977 and 1980, after the state issued new documents, that the first batch of workers who had reached retirement age began to retire. After Yang Yuping returned home, he found that the atmosphere at home was obviously not right. His son Yang Jingming did not go to work either and looked like a frost-bitten eggplant. He did not seem very happy to see Yang Jingming come back. "What's going on?" Yang Yuping asked Fang Chunfang after entering the house. Could it be that his son has been affected before his case has even been concluded? He and Lu Xiaolan divorced and he was unhappy, so he took a few days off and stayed at home. Fang Chunfang said. Yang Yuping was shocked.
Why?
He went in. He had a better understanding of Secretary Geng's ability. He had to treat such relatives well, because how far his son could go in the future would largely depend on the efforts of his daughter-in-law's family. He knew how capable his son was. His abilities were average, and he wasn't very courageous. If no one supported him and he relied on himself, his achievements in life would be limited. He'd get divorced after only being gone for so many days? Then all his plans would be overturned. I've already told you that Xiaolan's family is helpful and good for our son. How come you don't understand? Yang Yuping was furious, thinking that it was Fang Chunfang who instigated them to divorce. If it wasn't for saving you, would I let them divorce? Fang Chunfang was also angry.
Save me?
Yang Yuping was even more confused. Fang Chunfang came to the Lu family and threatened Yang Yuping's life. I don't agree to divorce.
Do you want me to be shot?
Yang Yuping fell silent after hearing this. His case should not be so serious, but if Lu Changzheng was determined to get him, it was possible. After all, the two people who had direct evidence were sentenced to several years of labor reform. He was not sure at the moment whether Lu Changzheng had any evidence. No matter how careful he was, there would be some clues after so many years.
Yang Yuping bersama depreset.
Lu Boming was quite famous in Hongqi commune, and he had heard about his character. It was normal for him to be disgusted with such things. At first, he couldn't stand it, but after tasting the sweetness a few times, he accepted it. In such a big dye vat, who wouldn't be stained with some color? Forget it. Let's wait for a while and make plans later. Xiaolan and Jingming still have feelings for each other, and they can remarry when things calm down. Fang Chunfang sneered. I think this marriage is caused by that Lu Xiaolan. She has been on guard against us for a long time. Told Yang Yuping that she had asked Lu Xiaolan to bring gifts home several times, but she had not done so. Yang Yuping thought for a moment and waved his hand. Maybe she doesn't dare to take it. After all, Lujia village is a rural area. Taking so many gifts every time would be too conspicuous. You two don't understand women at all. Why are you afraid of attracting attention when giving gifts to your parent home? You just want as many people as possible to know about it so that you can show that you are living well in your husband's family. If she wasn't on guard, why wouldn't she accept it every time? Forget it, let's not talk about this for now. We'll know what the situation is later. Yang Yuping waved his hand, then lowered his voice and asked, how much money does our family have now? Fang Chunfang pointed with one finger, meaning 10,000 yuan.
Yang Yuping nodded.
It was about the same as he expected. With this money, his family would live well. If his son wanted to work hard in his career, he would have enough money. Now that I have hidden the money, I will work diligently from now on. Apart from my salary, I will not have any other income. Yang Yuping said. We should all keep a low profile these days. Keep the remaining gifts for yourself, and don't send any more to Limin. I've almost spent all the money my father left me, and it will be hard to explain where it came from in the future. Yang Yuping's father was also quite capable. When he passed away, he left him a savings book with 2,000 yuan in it. No one knew about this money except him and his wife. He occasionally accepted gifts from others and bought some for himself from time to time. Once the gifts were mixed up, it would be difficult to trace the source. Those who are in the same boat feel reassured when they see him like this, and if others want to investigate, he has a plausible source to explain. How Esli means father-in-law. Fang Chunfang was a little worried. The Lu family had divorced, and only this one was left. They were about to start over, and then this happened again. Yang Yuping waved his hands. I'm afraid that even if I can get away this time, I'll be seriously injured. Let's live a peaceful life for 2 years first, and then we can make plans when things calm down. Fang Chunfang nodded. The old man and his son both had salaries, and her family had a large sum of money hidden away, so they lived a comfortable life. A few days passed in the blink of an eye. Apart from being pointed out from time to time, Lu Xiaolan's life was quite easy. Every day, I went to work with Su Mo and went home together. After returning home, we went up the mountain together to harvest the autumn crops. Life was so comfortable. In just a few days, his complexion became rosy. At first, Lu Xiaolan was a little worried that Fong Chunfong would come to the supply and marketing cooperative to cause trouble for her, and she had already thought of a countermeasure, but in the end, she didn't even see her shadow. The Yang family was worried about what evidence Lu Chongjing had, and they were planning to remarry in the future. They also wanted to keep a low profile for a while, so no one bothered Lu Xiaolan. However, Yang Jingming had been hanging around the door of the supply and marketing cooperative at noon for several days, trying to attract Lu Xiaolan's attention. But when he saw that Lu Xiaolan had been ignoring him, he stopped coming. During this period, Su Mo went up the mountain to harvest the crops every day. Not only did she pick up a lot of things, she also absorbed a lot of energy, and her supernatural powers were approaching the middle stage of the second level. The seeds of vegetables kept in the experimental plots have matured and been harvested. Su Mo handed in half of the project reports of the 2 experimental plots and the seeds obtained. This winter, Su Mo planned to study seed production technology, but she was not sure what experimental tools were available, so she applied to visit and study at the County Agricultural Research Institute for a few days. The approval was given very quickly, so Su Mo went to the County Agricultural Research Institute for the past 2 days. That day, when Su Mo got off work, she took a shortcut because she wanted to go home early to go up the mountain to harvest the crops. When passing a somewhat remote section of the road, Su Mo saw a sneaky woman entering a small courtyard that looked quite deserted. Su Mo had seen this woman before. She was Lu Ping, whom Lu Chongjing almost wanted to meet. Su Mo was deeply impressed by Lu Ping. After all, it was rare to find someone so brave and suicidal. Su Mo originally wanted to hide and wait and see what she was going to do, but a few more people came over from behind, so Su Mo did not stop and continued walking forward. The next day, when Su Mo went to work, she deliberately took that road again and secretly looked at the yard. It didn't look like anyone lived there. After lunch, Su Mo took advantage of her break time and went to that road again, planning to sneak in and see what was inside. After all, Lu Ping is Director Luo's wife, so maybe she is hiding some secrets of Director Luo. As Su Mo just walked nearby, she saw Lu Ping entering the yard again from afar. Su Mo found a corner to stop, looked around to see that there was no one around, and quickly put the bicycle into the space. Seeing that there was an ivy planted in a bungalow not far away, and hearing no human voices from inside, the owner was not at home. Su Mo quickly climbed up there, used her supernatural power to make the ivy grow more luxuriantly, covered her figure, and crawled on the shed of the bungalow to observe. After Su Mo's supernatural power was upgraded to the second level, her 5 senses became more sensitive. Although the distance was a bit far, she could still see clearly. Lu Ping covered part of her face with a headscarf. The exposed part still had many bruises, probably because she was beaten. Su Mo sighed inwardly. She married an old man and still got beaten. No wonder he went crazy in public during New Year's Day. I heard she was in the art troupe before. I don't know what she wants. There are a lot of young men in the army. Any one of them is better than Director Luo. Lu Ping brought a small shovel this time. She walked to a corner, pulled out the weeds growing on the ground, and then started digging downwards. Su Mo's eyes lit up instantly. Could there be some treasure buried underneath? Her space was much larger, and she no longer lacked space to store things. Su Mo crawled on top, watching Lu Ping digging for more than 10 minutes, but didn't dig out any. Afterwards, Lu Ping searched purposefully again and changed the location to dig. This time she dug for about 10 minutes, about 1 meter deep, then stopped with a smug smile on her face. Su Mo looked from afar and saw that what appeared in the pit was tarpaulin paper, probably wrapped with something. But Lu Ping did not continue digging, but filled the soil back and then walked away with a smug look on his face. After Lu Ping left, Su Mo quickly slipped down, found a corner, took out her bicycle, and hurried to the County Agricultural Research Institute. When they arrived at the Agricultural Research Institute, Sue Mo said she had something to do at home and asked for leave in the afternoon. Then she slipped back there and sneaked into the courtyard. This road is quite remote, and most of the houses on it are abandoned. Only during rush hour will people occasionally pass by, and at other times, there are very few people. The yard was located in a corner, and the gate faced inward. Unless you came here on purpose, you couldn't see what was going on inside from the road outside. But to be on the safe side, after Sue Mo sneaked in, she changed her clothes, put on makeup, and disguised herself as a young man so that if someone really saw her, no one would suspect her. After the disguise was done, Sue Mo took out the tools from the space and started digging at the place where Lu Ping had dug. Because the soil had been loosened by Lu Ping before, Sue Mo quickly dug to the place where there was something. Sue Mo knocked with a shovel and found what looked like a box underneath. Sue Mo quickly dug around the area and found it was indeed a large box, tightly wrapped in tarpaulin. Tarpaulin paper is used to prevent moisture, but it is very expensive in this era. If something is wrapped in tarpaulin paper, the things inside must be extraordinary. Sue Mo directly put the box into the space and waited to see what was inside when she returned. Sue Mo was very strong, so it didn't take her much time to dig out the box, less than 10 minutes in total. After collecting the dirt, Sue Mo went to the gate of the courtyard and observed secretly. Seeing that there was no one on the road and no human voices around, she went back to that location and continued digging. If someone could deliberately hide something in an abandoned yard, there must be more than just this one box. Sure enough, Sue Mo dug up 5 more boxes at that location, all of which were about the same size. Sue Mo had been here for more than an hour. Afraid of being discovered if she stayed too long, she quickly filled the hole she had dug. Because the box was taken away, and there was a hole, Sue Mo dug some soil from the undug land next to it and pushed it to be almost level with the surrounding area. Then she pulled up some grass seeds and sprinkled them on top, stimulating the growth to a state similar to that before the digging, so that others would not find out that the things inside had been dug up. Sue Mo was about to leave, but after thinking about it, she decided to go back to the place where Lu Ping had dug the first time and continue digging. Sure enough, about half a meter deeper than Lu Ping had dug before, Sue Mo dug up another object wrapped tightly in tarpaulin paper, but this was not a box, probably a bag or something. After Sue Mo put the things into the space, she filled it with soil and restored it to its previous appearance. Then, when no one was around, she sneaked out of the yard, found a secluded corner to remove her makeup, changed into her own clothes, and rode her bike home. In fact, it was also Lu Ping and Sue Mo's luck. Something was buried in this yard, and although no one lived there, Luo Yuan was suspicious by nature and could not be completely at ease. So he asked his confidant to send someone to watch over it, and the person who watched over the yard lived in the bungalow with the ivy. However, these days, because of the grain station incident, Luo Yuan was also being targeted. Fearing that Geng Chongqing and the others would follow the clues and find that yard, Luo Yuan asked the people who were watching to withdraw and return when the news died down. But he didn't expect that Lu Ping accidentally overheard his conversation with his confidant and secretly came over. By coincidence, Sue Mo saw them and took advantage of them. Sue Mo rode her bike back home in a flash, feeling excited and curious. After returning home, Sue Mo quickly closed the door and opened the blind box excitedly. The first thing to be opened was the object that looked like a cloth bag that was dug out at the end. Sue Mo used a knife to cut the tarpaulin open, revealing a luggage bag inside. After Sue Mo took out the bag and opened it, she almost cried out in surprise. There was a whole suitcase bag of money in it, all in bundles of big unity, 1,000 yuan each, 50 bundles in total for a total of 50,000 yuan. Although Sue Mo had a savings book with 80,000 yuan in it, it was just a number. It was still shocking to see so much money all of a sudden. After putting the luggage bag into the space, Sue Mo continued to open other blind boxes. There were 6 boxes in total, 4 of which contained large and small yellow croakers, and 2 contained silver dollars. There were no antique calligraphy or paintings. Sue Mo flipped through the silver coins, most of which were from the Yuan dynasty, with some from the Qing dynasty. Although silver dollars are not very valuable now, they can still fetch a high price in the future if sold to antique collectors. Su Mo looked at the boxes of yellow croakers and sighed that robbery was indeed the fastest way to get rich. Ordinary people would never be able to earn these things in several lifetimes. After putting the things away, Su Mo filled a net bag with pears from the space and took it to Lu's house to pick up the two little ones. Autumn harvest is a big event for the production team. As the wife of the party secretary, Li Yue has to set an example. It is naturally impossible for her to just collect grass for pigs and do nothing else. Since the autumn harvest, Li Yue has been working every day, and Lu Boming is mainly responsible for taking care of the two children. However, she used to earn 7 or 8 work points a day, but now she only earns 6 work points a day. After all, she still has to take care of the children. Li Yue would also be worried if Lu Boming was alone. Although he was in better health now, it was very tiring to look after the child, and his father only had one hand. So many things were inconvenient. Fortunately, the school was on holiday for the busy farming season, and Lu Fengqin and the others were at home and could help look after things. Anan and Lu are already more than 2 months old. They are well taken care of and look very adorable. Especially Lu, who smiles whenever he sees anyone, so the children are happy to take care of them. When Su Mo arrived, the 5 children were playing with the 2 children on the Kong, and Lu Boming was watching on the side. Ever since Su Mo made it clear to her last time, and has been more cooperative. When others tease her, she will smile, and is no longer so arrogant. Seeing Su Mo, Lu Fengqin was a little surprised. "Aunt San, why did you come back so early today? Aren't you going up the mountain to harvest the autumn harvest?" "I finished my work and feel a little tired, so I asked for leave and came back. I won't go to harvest today. I made a windfall, so I'm just taking a rest at home today." When Lu Boming heard Su Mo say that she had asked for leave, he was a little worried. "If you are tired, go home and rest. There are a lot of people at home looking after the children." Su Mo waved her hand. "It's okay, I'll take them back and let them lie down." After saying this, he put the net bag of pears on the Kong and gave one to each of the 5 children. "Grandpa, these are the pears I bought in the county town. Please share them with everyone else." During this period, every family helped her take care of the children during the day. Okay. He ate a lot of these pears last year, and they were very delicious. This year, he wanted to ask Xiaoma to buy some more, so she delivered them. Su Mo put the 2 children in the stroller and pushed it back, and Lu Boming followed. "Xiao Mo, I'll go get some food from you," Lu Boming said, and while everyone was in the fields, he would deliver it to the cowshed. Su Mo nodded quickly. "Okay, I'm ready." To Lu Boming before, Su Mo took 2 bags of corn to be threshed into corn grits and also ground 1 bag of white flour and 1 bag of rice. Her family didn't have much food, so she ate most of her lunch in the commune canteen. Lu Changzheng was often not at home, so there was still a lot of food left. After the autumn harvest, grain will be distributed soon. Although she and Lu Changzheng are not related to grain in the brigade, they are still happy. Even though the 2 kids are just babies, they are entitled to 180 kilograms of rations each. She can take the opportunity to buy some more from the brigade when the time comes. Lu Boming filled half a sack with corn grits and about 4 or 5 kilograms of rice. After filling, he reached into his pocket for money. Su Mo hurriedly stopped him. "Master, please don't do that. I also want to do something for those seniors, but I'm not as bold as you. I'll pay for the food, but I'll trouble you to deliver it."
Okay.
Lu Boming didn't force it. Since Xiaoma was willing to give it, then they could go together. The 3rd brother's family was well off, and they really didn't need the money for food. He heard that several comrades in the Lijiao cowshed had been rehabilitated not long ago. Although he helped them for no particular reason, if those people could be rehabilitated, Xiaoma and Lao Sen would have participated in it, and this favor might be useful in the future. The 3rd family will definitely move out in the future, and will not stay in this mountain nest of Hongqi commune. When walking outside, human relations are particularly important. His family has no foundation, so he can only consider them more. After Lu Boming left, Su Mo boiled some water and gave the 2 little ones a bath. and it has also adapted to it. She no longer twists and turns like before, but lies down calmly and lets Su Emo wash her. Su Emo chatted with her while washing. Is there anything wrong with your brother today? Anin waved his hand. What about you? Do you feel any different? Anin still waved his hand. This place is devoid of spiritual energy, and there is no spiritual energy at all. Even though she is familiar with various cultivation techniques, she has no place to use them. Suemo was a little puzzled. There had been babies with special powers in the base before. It was said that one could tell what kind of special powers they had after 2 or 3 months. Why didn't these 2 little ones look abnormal at all? After bathing the 2 kids, Suemo also bathed herself, and then the 3 of them, mother and children, lay down on the calm together and took a nap. When she woke up, it was already evening, and it was getting dark. Suemo got up and was about to make dinner when she heard the brigade broadcast asking her to go over to answer the phone. Calculating the time, Suemo guessed that it was her parents calling. They left on September 9th, and today is September 18th. They have probably settled down in Guangzhou. Suemo quickly put the sleeping child in the stroller and pushed it towards the brigade headquarters. After arriving at the brigade headquarters and waiting for a few minutes, the phone rang again. Suemo picked it up, and it was indeed Su Tingqian calling. Dad, how are you now? Are you settled? Suemo asked quickly. It's settled, Momo. You don't have to worry. We were transferred here. Everyone has a job. Dad is still teaching at the university, and your mom's school has arranged a job as a dormitory manager. It's not tiring, don't worry. The school should also arrange a house for us, a 2-bedroom, 1 living room house. We are living in the house arranged by the school now, and you will have a place to live when you come later. Uncle Zhang is old, so he no longer works in the administrative unit. He has been assigned a position as the director of the library, and Xiaoding has also been assigned to be a librarian. The library has also arranged a house for them, and Xiaoding still lives with Uncle Zhang. You don't have to worry about him taking care of you. During this special period, the library is often closed to the public and not many people go there, so the director's position is equivalent to sitting on the bench. Zhang Zhen was very happy about it. He had been a cadre for most of his life, and now this job, which was both leisurely and allowed him to read books every day, was really suitable for him. Dad, are you in the same place? It's not in the same place, but it's not far away. You can get there by bus. Your uncle will come to Yangqing for a meeting in 2 days, and he will come to see us then. Everything is fine here. You don't have to worry. The weather here is also very warm, not cold at all. Dad, it's warm over there, but winter is coming very quickly. You need to prepare winter clothes and quilts in advance. Do you think it's convenient to buy them over there? If not, I can make them at the commune and send them to you. Suemo spent a few years in Guangzhou when she was a child. It was common for her to go from summer to winter in 1 day. She wore short sleeves in the morning and a cotton jacket in the afternoon. Don't worry, your uncle has already arranged for these to be prepared. Suemo silently gave Su Tingda a thumbs up. You are worthy of being the one, uncle. At this time, Suemo heard someone talking on Su Tingqian's side. After a while, Su Tingqian said, Momo, a comrade is in a hurry to make a phone call, so Dad hung up first. We're doing well here, don't worry. I will write to you later. After saying that, he hung up. Suemo. She hadn't had the time to ask for their address, so if she wanted to send them something, she would have to wait 10 days or half a month to receive the letter. Because no antiques, calligraphy, or paintings were found yesterday, Suemo guessed that there might be other boxes buried in other places in the yard, so she thought about finding an opportunity to explore today. As a result, when she passed by that road early in the morning, she found that several young men had already moved into the bungalow where she had hidden before. Suemo felt a little sorry. Since there were people here, she would not come. The location of this bungalow was such that as long as one climbed up to the roof, one could see the situation in the yard at a glance. Unexpected money, there's no need to take too many risks. Suemo also thought about whether she should tell Geng Chongqing about this and ask him to investigate. Maybe he could find some evidence against Luo Yuan. Later I thought about it and decided to forget it. Since Luo Yuan dared to bury the things here, he would definitely not leave any direct evidence. Even if they were dug up, those things could be completely attributed to the original owner. This road was not remote at the beginning. On the contrary, it was inhabited by wealthy people from Qingxi County. However, most of the homeowners in this area died at the beginning of the movement. There were people living there before, but after some abnormal incidents, it became vacant and gradually deserted. Now that money wolves are in power, if those things are handed over, they might fall into the hands of some bad guys. It would be better for her to take them and then give them back to Qingxi County when the situation stabilizes, so as to build bridges and roads and improve the local economy. Not long after Su and Mo passed by, a young man climbed up onto the roof, pretending to look at the scenery. He secretly looked at the situation in the small courtyard, and when he saw nothing unusual, he was about to go down. Suddenly he stopped and looked, and found that there was something wrong with the corner. Although Su and Mo restored most of the things, she did not do much to cover up the appearance of Lu Ping after she dug it up. Otherwise, wouldn't it tell others that someone else had visited the place after Lu Ping? The young man hurried down and told a man who should be the leader. The leader hurried over to take a look and found that there were indeed 2 traces of digging. The leader was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat and quickly reported the matter to his superiors. Luo Yuan's confidant then quickly reported the matter to Luo Yuan. After hearing this, Luo Yuan was really angry and anxious. Everything was fine for so many years. How come something bad happened after being away for a few days? Could it be that someone had been eyeing that place from the beginning and was waiting for him to withdraw his men? But then he thought about it. It didn't make sense. If he was really being targeted, it would be impossible for him to only dig 2 places. Luo Yuan thought about it for a long time, and suddenly, he remembered something and hurried back home. After finding Lu Ping, Luo Yuan questioned her. Lu Ping couldn't resist and had to tell the story. Lu Ping was also extremely angry. This old man clearly said not to send anyone back for the next 1 or 2 months, so how could he go back on his word and send someone back so soon? She was just 1 step away from digging the things out and then divorcing her husband. She had clearly communicated with her family to dig the things out in the next 2 nights. Now that the truth has been exposed, hasn't all her suffering been in vain? Lu Ping had suffered enough and no longer cared about her reputation. She had returned to her parents' home and told them about Luo Yuan's domestic violence and strange habits. Her family felt sorry for her and supported her divorce. But Lu Ping was unwilling to give up and happened to hear the secret, so she thought of joining forces with her family to secretly dig up the things. She has to have one of power and money, right? Now, there is nothing left. Lu Ping was so angry that her paranoia came back and she started talking without thinking. Luo Yuan, I'm telling you, you have to give me half of your stuff, or I'll report you. I have a lot of evidence in my hands, and once I report you, it's only a matter of time before you get shot. Luo Yuan looked fierce and asked in a cold voice, What evidence do you have? There are a lot of them. I tell you, not only do I have them, but my family members also have them. If you dare to touch me again, we will hand the evidence to Geng Chongqing and let him kill you. As soon as he heard the 3 words Geng Chongqing, Luo Yuan's eyes became vicious. He never thought that he would be forced into a desperate situation by a man who was about the same age as his son. Many of the people who were in his camp before had already turned to Geng Chongqing's side. He has always thought that he is quite capable, but now it seems that his many years of business are a joke. Luo Yuan was a suspicious and conceited person, and asking him to admit that he was not as good as a young man was more painful than killing him. Lu Ping's words directly hit Luo Yuan's sore spot. Luo Yuan stretched out his hand and grabbed Lu Ping's neck and asked angrily, What? Even you think I'm not as good as Geng Chongqing? Luo Yuan's grip was very strong, and after a while, Lu Ping was strangled to the point where she had difficulty breathing. Talk. You also think I'm not as good as Geng Chongqing? Yes. Lu Ping was also brave. She dared to go against others at this time. Luo Yuan seemed to be a little crazy because of the stimulation. His eyes were red, and he said angrily, I am not as good as Geng Chongqing? What a joke. If his background wasn't stronger than mine, and he didn't have the support from above, would he have been able to defeat me? Before that, he was just a small commune secretary who made a living under my command. It's all because of you, this jinx. Ever since I married you, I've never had a good life. You're such a bad luck. No wonder you can't find a partner in the army and have to come back to me. The more Luo Yuan thought about it, the more he felt it was right. It seemed that everything started to go wrong after he married Lu Ping. This Lu Ping was simply a jinx, and he had to divorce this woman quickly. Luo Yuan was getting more and more powerful in his rage. Lu Ping realized something was wrong and started to struggle desperately, but she was no match for Luo Yuan, and gradually, she became motionless. By the time Luo Yuan came to his senses from his anger, Lu Ping was already dead. Luo Yuan was only panicked for a moment, then he calmed down, put Lu Ping aside, and started thinking. Lu Ping's death could be an unexpected event. The problem now is the Lu family. His father-in-law and mother-in-law still love Lu Ping very much. Lu Ping also said just now that her family has evidence. If Lu Ping died unexpectedly, they would definitely suspect him and might even hand over the evidence. Although he didn't think that this idiot Lu Ping could collect any valid evidence, he still thought it was best to be safe than sorry. The best way was to silence them all. After Luo Yuan thought it through, he washed his hands, locked the door, and went out to look for someone. Father Lu felt anxious all day and was absent-minded at work. After finally getting off work, he hurriedly rode his bike home. Unexpectedly, not long after we walked away, a truck came towards us with its horn honking wildly, and the driver was shouting, "Get out of the way." It was just after get off work, and not many people came out of the factory. Everyone got out of the way after hearing the news. Father Lu was worried and was slow to get out of the way. He was rolled under the truck and dragged for a distance until the truck hit the wall and stopped. Those who had dodged were still in shock, and when they saw the blood on the ground, many of them became so frightened that their legs went limp and they collapsed. I'm afraid this person is beyond saving. It was the people from the security department of the machinery factory who reacted first and ran forward to rescue people. Such a big commotion naturally attracted a lot of people who had just got off work, and several young men also went over to rescue people. The truck crashed into the wall of the machinery factory, which collapsed, but also stopped the truck. The front of the truck was dented, the windshield was shattered, and the driver was unconscious with a bloody head on the steering wheel. Several people worked together to rescue the driver from the car, and then worked together to lift the car up. They rescued Lu's father, who was covered in blood, from under the car, and sent them to the hospital together. Lu Ping got married. Lu Mei also married the son of the director of the machinery factory 2 months later. She is now several months pregnant. Today, because she was not feeling well, she took a day off to rest at home. Suddenly, she heard someone calling her, saying that her father had been in a car accident and had been sent to the hospital, and asked her to go over quickly. Lu Mei quickly stopped the person and asked about the situation. Her legs went weak, and she almost collapsed to the ground. It was the person who came to report that quickly supported her and prevented her from falling. He was rolled under the car and dragged for some distance. Can this man still be saved? Sister May, you have to hold on. Your mother fainted when she heard the news. That's why I came to find you. We need someone to take charge. Call your lover back quickly and go to the hospital together. The man said. Lu Mei was still pregnant, so she didn't dare to say anything in detail. Looking at the situation, she was afraid that the county hospital could not save her, and going to the municipal hospital would be a different matter. Sure enough, when Lu Mei and her husband rushed to the hospital with Lu's mother, they learned that Lu's father had been rushed to the municipal hospital. After all, the conditions in the county hospital were limited, and the doctors only performed emergency hemostasis procedures, and there was really no other way. When Lu's mother heard this, she almost fainted again. The truck driver wasn't seriously injured. He was just scratched by the glass and hit his steering wheel, causing a slight concussion. I was already awake at this time. When I heard that the Lu family had arrived, I struggled to get out of bed, staggered to the front of the Lu family, knelt down and cried. I didn't mean to do that. There was a problem with my brakes, and I couldn't stop. I really didn't mean to do that. I was honking the horn all the way and yelling for everyone to get out of the way. Here, we have to talk about the terrain in front of the machinery factory. There is a slightly sloping small. If the car is driving fast, if there's a problem with the brakes, it will be impossible to stop. The truck itself was used by the machinery factory to transport goods, and everyone was familiar with the truck driver, a man in his 30s who was very honest and hardworking. At this time, Lu Mei's father-in-law also rushed over and said that he had borrowed a car from the Armed Forces Department and asked them to go to the municipal hospital quickly. He would take care of other matters. They were sent out. They said that the security department had checked and confirmed that it was an accident. The brakes had been used for a long time and had aged and failed. After all, someone might have died, so it's our duty to investigate. Lu Mei and others took the armed forces car and rushed to the municipal hospital. When they arrived, Lu's father had already been pushed into the operating room. The family waited at the door of the operating room for half the night before the doctor finally came out. Mr. Lu had multiple fractures all over his body, and several of his internal organs were ruptured. He has been saved for the time being, but he still has to go through surgery, and the doctor is not sure whether he can survive. Father Lu was pushed into the intensive care unit, and the Lu family members were not allowed to go in and could only watch from afar. Father Lu was still alive, and Mother Lu finally regained half of her soul. She said to Lu Mei, "Go call your sister and ask her to think of a solution quickly." No wonder she was so nervous the whole day yesterday. It turned out that something was going to happen to the old man. The eldest son-in-law is a worthless person. He is powerful and knows a lot of people. Let's see if he can transfer some experts over or approve some special medicines. Lu Mei then realized that she had forgotten to inform her sister Lu Ping and hurried to make a phone call with her lover. Luo Yuan naturally answered the phone. Lu Ping told me yesterday that she was going back to her parents' home. She didn't come back last night. I thought she was at your house. Why? She's not here. Lu Mei also knew about Luo Yuan's troubles. She didn't know where her sister had gone to hide, so she said, "My dad had a car accident when he was off work yesterday. We are all in the city hospital now. He was not at home last night." Luo Yuan didn't expect that the person was not dead. He pretended to be concerned and asked a few questions. He said that he would go to their house to see if Lu Ping was there and would be there soon. Luo Yuan first went to Lu's house and pretended to knock on the house for a while. A neighbor came out and said that he had not seen Lu Ping come back yesterday. Luo Yuan then drove to the municipal hospital. After Luo Yuan arrived, he used his connections to find the director of the municipal hospital, and the hospital sent several key members to participate in the treatment of Lu's father. Mother Lu felt speechless when she saw her eldest son-in-law busying around. It was good to have power. Old Lu's condition was so serious, and there was only one doctor in charge before, and he was a young one. Now, with the help of connections, a more experienced doctor was sent immediately. It's a pity that this eldest son-in-law is not a good person. If she doesn't divorce, her daughter will probably be beaten to death. In fact, Luo Yuan came here for two purposes. One was to confirm the situation of Lu's father, and the other was to observe other people in the Lu family. He wanted to know if everyone knew about the evidence. It was impossible for him to kill all the members of the Lu family together, so he first attacked Lu's father, who was most likely to know the situation, and then see how others would react. Fortunately, he was quite satisfied with the results of his observations, but others probably didn't know about it. In fact, Luo Yuan guessed wrong. The evidence that Lu Ping mentioned was not known to Lu's father and mother. Lu Ping was handed over to Lu Guangying because she was the only one who could see Geng Chongqing most easily. Since Lu Ping married Luo Yuan, she has had almost no contact with Lu Guangying, so Luo Yuan always thought that the two had a bad relationship and did not suspect her. Lu Guangying was eating in the cafeteria at noon when she heard about the car accident in front of the machinery factory. When she heard that the person hit was the in-law of the factory director, Lu Guangying's heart skipped a beat. Wasn't the in-law of the factory director her brother? So I quickly took a leave and went to the machinery factory. After finding out the situation, I was disappointed. Lu Guangying was extremely anxious, wondering how to get to the city hospital. There was only one bus from the county to the city a day, and it left early in the morning. Seeing how anxious she was, the security staff said, The factory director and the union members will be there this afternoon. You can wait for their car to arrive." Lu Guangying thanked him quickly, asked the security department to help inform them, and then sat at the door waiting. In the afternoon, Lu Guangying took the factory car and went to the municipal hospital together. Lu Guangying arrived. Luo Yuan had already left, so they didn't meet. Lu Guangying heard that the people were rescued. He was relieved. Then he realized that Lu Ping was missing, so he asked, "Where's Lu Ping?" Mother Lu waved her hands. "I don't know where she went." Luo Yuan said yesterday that she went back to her parents' home, but I didn't see her at home. I don't know where she went. This was not the first time that Lu Ping had encountered such a situation. There had been 2 times before when she hid and Luo Yuan came to look for her. When Lu Guangying heard this, he immediately realized something was wrong. Lu Ping discovered what Luo Yuan had buried. She discussed it with Lu's father and Lu Guangying. Their original plan was that Lu Guangying and his wife and Lu's father would secretly dig it up tonight, and Lu Ping would be responsible for keeping Luo Yuan at bay. At this critical juncture, Lu's father got into trouble and Lu Ping was missing, which forced Lu Guangying to start a conspiracy theory. When Luo Yuan left, he was actually very happy. He had communicated with the doctor alone, and the doctor hinted rather bluntly that Father Lu was old and seriously injured, so the possibility of him surviving was very low, and asked them to be mentally prepared. The hidden danger was resolved, and Luo Yuan breathed a sigh of relief. What made him happiest was that, except for Lu's father, no one else in the Lu family knew about it, which saved him a lot of trouble. Otherwise, if he had to deal with the whole family, it would be difficult to avoid loopholes. Luo Yuan had just returned to the office when his trusted subordinate came in with a bad look on his face. This trusted subordinate is Luo Yuan's cousin, named Luo Cheng. He has admired Luo Yuan since he was a child and is a person Luo Yuan trusts the most. Otherwise, he would not have been entrusted with the task of keeping an eye on this thing. After all, money can tempt people. "Brother, something happened." Luo Yuan frowned. He hated hearing these 3 words the most right now. "What's wrong?" "Something is missing." "What's missing?" Luo Yuan didn't react for a moment. "We only found 2 boxes of things buried in the yard." Luo Cheng broke out in a cold sweat. Luo Yuanting stood up suddenly. What was buried there was almost 2/3 of his savings accumulated over the years. Otherwise, he would not have spent money to hire someone to keep an eye on it. "Explain to me clearly, what do you mean by only finding 2 boxes? Luo Yuan's voice was almost squeezed out from between his teeth. After learning that Lu Ping knew the hiding place, Luo Yuan felt that place was no longer safe. Last night, he instructed Luo Cheng to dig the things out overnight and hide them in another place. Luo Cheng did not dare to delay, and he personally went to supervise the digging that night. As a result, they turned the yard upside down but only found 2 boxes of things. Luo Cheng was shocked and angry. He immediately arrested the person in charge of watching the yard and interrogated him for a whole night, but he could not get any information out of him. With such a huge mistake, he originally wanted to find out something and then report to Luo Yuan, but now he has no choice but to do it anyway. "Brother, this is very strange. I went there myself last night, and there were only 2 traces of new excavations in the yard. The area was not large, so it stands to reason that at most they only dug up a box. But except for the 2 boxes near the house, everything else is gone. Brother, those things should have been dug up long ago. Are you sure it has been poached?"
Yes.
"Except for the 2 new areas that my sister-in-law dug, the grass is lush everywhere else. There is no sign that anyone has touched it." Luo Yuan felt a surge of anger rising up. His heart was filled with violent emotions, and he urgently needed to destroy something to vent his anger. Luo Yuan held back, breathing rapidly, and suppressed the emotion. "Very good. Very good. It's really great." He actually spent money to support a group of people who stole things. Even if it wasn't them, it was because they were useless. With so many people watching, they actually let people steal things right under their noses. They really deserve to die. Luo Cheng was a little scared when he saw Luo Yuan's uncertain expression. "Brother, I have controlled those people, but I didn't get anything out of them. How about you go over and ask them tonight?" Luo Yuan suddenly raised his head, stared at Luo Cheng and asked, "Ah Cheng, you won't betray me, right?" Luo Cheng was so frightened that he swore, "Brother, you saved my life. If I betray you, let me die immediately." Seeing Luo Cheng like that, Luo Yuan reluctantly believed him, waved his hand and asked him to go out, saying that he would come over in the evening. After Luo Cheng left, Luo Yuan leaned back in his chair, closed his eyes and thought deeply. Was it stolen right under his nose? Or did those people steal it? Or did Luo Cheng hide it himself? Luo Yuan suddenly felt that he seemed to have no one he could trust. Except for the first few days when no one was there were people watching the place at other times. Even if someone could sneak in at night and dig, with so many boxes, how could they move them out without being noticed? Stealing from the inside? Not likely. Those people's lives and property are in his hands. And who would steal something and not run away immediately, but wait there, waiting for the day when the crime is exposed and die? After thinking about it, the most likely possibility is that Luo Cheng hid the things when he buried them. After all, he was the one who asked him to do this. It was late at night, and everyone was asleep. Luo Yuan quietly left the house. After making sure that no one was following him, he went to the place Luo Cheng mentioned. When they arrived at the place, Luo Yuan covered his face with a handkerchief before entering the house. As soon as he entered the room, Luo Yuan took out his weapon and shot one of the men who was watching. The group of people's faces turned pale with fright, and no one dared to say a word for a moment. Even Luo Cheng stood aside like a quail. Luo Yuan said to the several people on the ground who were beaten and covered with wounds, "Whoever tells the truth will be spared, otherwise they will all die." Those people struggled, knelt on the ground and kowtowed, saying that they didn't know what was going on. "We really don't know what's going on. Except for the few days when we were asked to leave, we have been watching here all the time. Even at night, there are people watching over the small attic. Brother, even if we were given 10 guts, we wouldn't dare to do such a thing as stealing from the company." While denying it, several people tried hard to recall whether there was anything unusual during the years they were watching. They said a lot of random things, just to make the big brother with the gun believe that they did not steal his things. Seeing this, Luo Yuan raised his hand and shot another person. This time, several people were so scared that they peed their pants. Even so, they still didn't get anything out of him. Luo Yuan was basically sure that this matter had nothing to do with those people who were watching. Luo Yuan waved his hand and had them drag those people away. "Ah Cheng, where are the 2 boxes?"
Luo Yuan asked.
Luo Cheng quickly took Luo Yuan to the inner room and took out the 2 boxes from a secret compartment in a closet. They were still wrapped in tarpaulin, and Luo Cheng had never opened them. Luo Yuan took a knife, cut the tarpaulin paper, and then opened the boxes. One box contained some gold and jade jewelry and calligraphy and paintings, while the other box contained a few vases and porcelain ornaments. Luo Yuan's face was so dark that ink could drip from it. "Very good. All that's left are these things that no one knows when they can be converted into cash, and all that was lost are ready-made gold, silver, and money. This thief is really good at stealing." Luo Yuan closed the box and asked Luo Cheng, "Ah Cheng, are the things I put with you still there?" "Yes, yes." Luo Cheng said quickly. "Previously placed some money and gold bars with him for emergency use. I need to smooth things over recently, so please send the things over in a couple of days. Find a place to hide these 2 boxes." After Luo Yuan finished speaking, he prepared to leave. "Brother, then, what should we do with those people?" Luo Cheng asked quickly. "They've all been dealt with." Luo Yuan's eyes were fierce. They were just small hooligans. If they died, they died. "Yes." Luo Cheng nodded quickly. "My brother has been getting more and more violent recently." After Luo Yuan left, Luo Cheng had those people dealt with, then dragged them to a deserted yard and buried them in a pit. After Luo Yuan returned home, he rummaged around in every corner of the house and took out rolls of money. Luo Yuan counted it and found that it was less than 20,000 yuan. Adding the 20,000 yuan and dozens of gold bars he left with Luo Cheng, these were all he had left. He has worked hard to plan for so many years, and now, this is all that is left. Father Lu stayed in the hospital for 2 days and finally passed away. Lu's mother fainted several times from crying, and Lu Mei was also very sad. She had a miscarriage and had to be hospitalized to protect the fetus. Lu's father's funeral can only be handled by Lu Guangying and Lu Mei's lover together. We couldn't hold any ceremony at this time, especially since Lu's father had died a sudden death. All we did was hold a simple memorial service under the auspices of the trade union, inviting familiar co-workers to come and pay their respects. Lu's father was killed by a car from the factory, so it was considered a work-related injury. The factory paid for all expenses for hospitalization and memorial services and also paid 2,000 yuan in compensation to the family. The driver and the person in charge of vehicle management were each given a serious disciplinary action and demoted. The weather in September was still hot, and the body could not be kept for long, so it was lifted up and buried the next day. Mr. Lu was in a car accident on the evening of the 19th and passed away in the early morning of the 22nd. His body was transported back to Qingxi County that morning. A memorial service was held in the afternoon, and he was buried on the morning of the 23rd. In just a few days, a living person left this world completely. Lu Ping never showed up during the entire process, but Luo Yuan was there from the time the body was brought back to the burial. Because Lu Ping had hidden away for a few days before, and Luo Yuan had been busy these days, and there was nothing unusual, so Lu's mother did not suspect that something had happened to Lu Ping, and just thought that she had hidden away somewhere again. The girl Ping was the one the old man loved the most when he was alive. She is so heartless that she didn't even have the chance to see her father off when he left. Lu's mother cried to Lu Guangying. Lu Guangying was extremely anxious at this time. She was certain that something had happened to Lu Ping. And it was 100% certain that it was Luo Yuan who did it. During these 2 days, she also secretly observed Luo Yuan. Several times, she saw him looking at other members of the Lu family, especially Lu Mei and her husband, with sinister eyes behind their backs. Thinking of what Lu Ping had told them a few days ago, she was very suspicious that Luo Yuan had discovered this and Lu Ping might have been killed. Luo Yuan was afraid that her brother would report him, so he took the initiative and murdered her brother. But she didn't dare tell Lu's mother at this time because her husband had just left. If she found out that her daughter might have been in trouble, it would probably devastate her sister-in-law. Lu Guangying comforted his mother. He rode his bike and hurried home. Along the way, she was cautious because she didn't know whether Luo Yuan would suspect her and take action against her. After returning home, Lu Guangying found the evidence given to her by Lu Ping in the secret compartment behind the bedroom cabinet. Lu Guangying looked at the evidence and pondered for a long time. Finally, she gritted her teeth, put the evidence in her bag, and set off to the commune. Su Mo went to the County Agricultural Research Institute to study for only a few days and started working in the commune on the 20th. Su Mo borrowed a batch of instruments from the County Agricultural Research Institute and asked Fu Ming to approve a small office for use as a research laboratory. She has been tinkering with seed production experiments in it these days. Lu Guangying came. Su Mo was making the culture medium. Comrade Su Mo, could you please come out for a moment? I have something to talk to you about. Lu Guangying called Su Mo outside the window. Because of Lu Ping, although Su Mo and Lu Guangying worked in the same unit, they had almost no communication with each other, and they didn't even say a word to each other for a month. Su Mo was quite surprised to see Lu Guangying coming to see her. Director Lu, what do you want to talk to me about? Comrade Su, can you ask Secretary Geng to come to the commune? I have something to give him. Lu Guangying lowered his voice and said, "It's very important." Lu Guangying didn't dare to go find Geng Chongqing on her own. If Luo Yuan had his eyes on her, something might happen to her before she even reached the county government. Although everyone agreed that her brother's death was an accident, Lu Guangying still felt that her brother's death was closely related to Luo Yuan. What is it? Secretary Geng has been very busy recently. It's not a big deal, and I don't dare to disturb him. Luo Yuan's evidence. Lu Guangying whispered. Su Mo was a little surprised. Was he going to kill his own relatives for the sake of justice? Luo Yuan was her nephew's husband, right? From her observation, Lu Guangying was not a selfless person. Su Mo nodded. Okay, I'll make a call for you, but whether Secretary Gung can come depends on his arrangements. She told Uncle Gung the truth, and it was up to Uncle Gung to decide whether to come or not. Thank you, Comrade Su. I'll go back to the office and wait for you. Lu Guangying's thanks were sincere. The more she thought about it, the more panicked she became. After Lu Guangying left, Su Mo went to Fu Ming's office and called Gung Chongqing. Gung Chongqing thought for a moment and replied, "Let her wait. I'll go over in the evening." Although they have the upper hand in the battle between the two systems, if there is actual evidence to bring down Luo Yuan, there will be less resistance in the future work. Therefore, Gung Chongqing decided to take some time to go over and take a look. Lu Guangying breathed a sigh of relief after receiving a positive response from Su Mo. If Lu Guangying had any ideas before, the death of her father and the disappearance of Lu Ping have left her with no ideas at all. Money is good, but if you lose your life, it is of no use. She is just a timid wild boar and can't achieve anything great. She should just work steadily in the future and not dream of anything else. I don't know if these evidences can bring down Luo Yuan so that her family can continue to live a peaceful life. In the evening, Gung Chongqing came with his secretary, had a secret chat with Lu Guangying in Su Mo's laboratory for a while, and then left. Lu Guangying mentioned was nothing more than what Lu Ping recorded, which was the content of the conversation she overheard between Luo Yuan and other people. This piece of evidence is actually of little use. Even if Lu Ping personally came forward to identify Luo Yuan, it would be difficult to convict him if he denied it. After all, there is no real evidence. As for Lu Guangying's suspicion that her brother's accident was related to Luo Yuan, Lu Ping may have been killed by Luo Yuan. This needs further verification. However, Gung Chongqing also got two useful pieces of information from it. One was the location where Luo Yuan hid the stolen goods, and the other was that Luo Cheng was actually an imposter. Returning to the county town, Gung Chongqing first asked one of his secretaries to secretly go to the place where the stolen goods were hidden. The secretary was also a capable person. He came back quickly and told Gung Chongqing that the place had been completely dug up. The covering up of the traces was very crude, and it must have been done in a hurry. The traces were also very fresh, and it was estimated that they had been dug a few days ago. Gung Chongqing nodded, and after the secretary left, he called Lu Chongzheng and asked him to borrow a few good hands. He used these people to keep an eye on Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng has always been portrayed as a fool with a bad brain. It is said that he fell into the water and his brain was damaged when he was a child, and his intelligence remains at the level of a 7 or 8-year-old. Luo Yuan felt sorry for his cousin, so he assigned him a cleaning job in the Revolutionary Committee. Luo Cheng was usually heartless and didn't know anything about the world. So, they didn't really focus on Luo Cheng. I never thought that he was actually a hidden master who had been disguised for so many years without being discovered. Although it is the busy farming season, the commune cadres do not rest on weekends unless there is something important to do, and they have to go to the various brigades to help with the autumn harvest. But Sumo's work content is different from everyone else's, and her child is still young. Taking her actual situation into consideration, Li Hongjun and Fu Ming let her rest normally on weekends. It was the weekend again, and Sumo was at home taking care of the baby, so Li Yue took on the 8-centimeter job and worked until dark before going home. As they were walking, a woman who she didn't usually interact with came over and said to Li Yue, "Secretary's wife, can we have a chat?" Li Yue thought she had something to report, so she nodded and walked to the side of the road with her to talk. This situation is not uncommon. Some women have things to report, but they dare not talk to the branch secretary or the team leader, so they talk to their wives and they report to their husbands. When they reached the roadside, Li Yue smiled kindly and said, "Don't worry, take your time." The aunt was a little shy at first, but when she saw Li Yue smiling at her, she gained a lot of courage and said, "Well, your daughter is divorced, and it may be difficult for her to find a new wife. We are from the same team, and we know each other well. What do you think of my old son? Don't worry, I watched Xiaolin grow up, and I won't look down on her for being a second marriage." When Li Yue heard this, her face instantly turned dark. This old man has two sons. The eldest son is decent enough, but the younger son is a lazy guy to put it nicely, and a second-rate guy to put it bluntly. Such a dares to covet her daughter. How much of his wife's has he drunk to dare to think like this? My daughter doesn't want to get married again for the time being. Let's talk about it in a few years. Li Wei waved her hand. Oh, Secretary's family, please don't delay your daughter any longer. It's hard for a second marriage to find a husband. If you delay for a few more years, I'm afraid she won't be able to get married. Li Wei was so angry. Does this old woman know how to speak? What does it mean to be unable to get married? Even if he can marry, he can only marry a man whose wife has died and has children. I am willing to let my son marry a divorced woman because I think your family is good. If it were anyone else, I would not be happy. Li Wei was really laughing. Your son is so precious, my daughter can't marry him. You can look for someone else. Li Wei finished speaking. She wanted to leave, but was stopped by the aunt. You are from the party branch. I have already told you that my family does not mind. I think the two children are good and suitable. Why don't we find a day after the autumn harvest and let Xiaolin move her bedding over? For this second marriage, there will be no ceremony. Li Wei slapped the aunt's hand away and really wanted to slap her in the face. Your family doesn't mind, but mine does.
What?
The aunt didn't react. I said, I look down on your old son. What's wrong with my son? He's a strong young man, and he's getting married for the first time. Your daughter is divorced. How good of a family can she expect to find? We don't want to find a very good family, but the person must at least be down to earth and hardworking. We don't like second-rate people like your old son. Hey, what are you talking about? Why is my son a second-rate person? You are a grown man, but you don't work as well as an old woman like me. You are lazy and slack off every day, relying on your parents, brothers, and sisters-in-law for support at home. What else can you be but a second-rate person? Li Wei was not polite either. He is just immature and immature. He will be fine once he gets married. My daughter doesn't have the habit of being a mother. You should breastfeed your son first. Li Wei was also a person with a sharp tongue. After she said that, she turned away. The aunt was so angry that her face turned green. She spat, a second marriage, and she's acting like a big shot. In the future, even if you beg me, my family won't accept you. Su Mo was resting at home. Thinking that Li Wei had been busy working outside all day and it would be too tiring for her to cook when she came back, she made some pancakes at home, put a dozen of them in a bamboo basket, and sent them to the Liu family. Just as I was about to walk out the door, I saw Li Wei coming back angrily, so I asked what happened. Li Wei told her what happened on the road.
Xiaomo, I'm worried.
In this rural area, divorced women lose value in their eyes. But Xiaolin has a job and the third child is promising, so those who have bad ideas will definitely come to us. This matter is very troublesome. I'm afraid that there will be a lot of dirty goods coming to our door in the future. If there is one, I'm afraid there will be a second one. When Su Mo heard this, she realized that this was true. Once someone took the lead, other people who were waiting and watching would probably come one after another. If it were good, it would be fine. But if it were bad, it would be really disgusting. Someone comes to your house to propose marriage, you can't do anything about it except disagreeing. It's really frustrating. Therefore, the best way is to make your attitude clear with swift and decisive measures as soon as someone shows up. Mom, we have to take an attitude on this matter and let those who have ulterior motives know that Xiaolan is not someone that everyone can covet. I have the same idea. Xiaoma, do you have any good ideas? How about this? Let's take the aunt and her old son as an example. Starting tomorrow, we will assign them the hardest and most tiring work. Let those people see our attitude. Mom thinks it's okay, but your dad may not agree. The old man is fair-minded, and he may not be willing to do such a thing of personal revenge. Mom, please explain it clearly to Dad. I think he will agree. Su Mo saw that Lu Qing'an loved Lu Xiaolan very much. When Lu Xiaolan wanted to divorce, Li Yue opposed it, but Lu Qing'an never said a word of no from beginning to end. Su Mo handed the bamboo basket to Li Yue. Mom, I just made some pies for you to eat in the evening, so don't cook. The child is still sleeping on the Kong, so I'll go back first. Then you should go back quickly. Li Yue waved her hand quickly. Xiaoma is also very brave. She actually left the two children alone at home. Fortunately, they can't crawl yet, otherwise what would happen if they fell off the Kong? When Lu Qing'an came back, Li Yue told him about it. Lu Qing'an was so angry that he agreed, without saying a word. After dinner, he went to Lu Bao's house. This made Li Yue look at her with new eyes. After Lu Xiaolan finished washing the dishes, she saw Lu Qing'an going out with a flashlight, so she asked, "Mom, where's my dad going at this late hour?" "He wants to discuss something with your uncle Baogua," Li Yue said, then turned around and asked, "Xiaolan, do you have any plans for the future? What are you going to do? It's your life's most important event. Do you have any ideas?" "Mom, I just got divorced not long ago. I don't want to think about these things. Besides, I don't plan to get married again. I will stay at home to take care of my parents in their old age." "Nonsense. You are only 21 years old. Why don't you get married? Your parents have 3 brothers to support them in their old age, so they don't need you." "Mom, did someone tell you something?" Lu Xiaolan thought about it and felt that something was wrong. It hadn't even been half a month since her divorce, so her mother wouldn't tell her this so early. Li Yue thought about it and decided to tell Lu Xiaolan about it so that those people would not be able to tell her in front of her, so they would tell her daughter and let her daughter be mentally prepared. After hearing this, Lu Xiaolan looked like she had swallowed a dead fly. She thought those people were just talking to her, but she didn't expect that they actually had their eyes on her. 8 or 9 in the evening, Lu Chongjing also came back, bringing back a first-class merit medal and 1,000 yuan. Lu Chongjing studied the book that Su Mo gave him last time carefully, and then wrote a report with suggestions for improvement and research and development of current weapons, and submitted it to the military region. The head of the military region read it and thought it made sense and was feasible, so he submitted it to the General Armament Department, which then gave it to the chief engineer of the Weapons Research Institute. The Weapon Research Institute saw this. He was very excited because Lu Chongjing's suggestion just solved the problems they were currently encountering in weapons research and development. The chief engineer rushed to the equipment department and praised Lu Chongjing greatly in front of the leader, thinking of transferring him to their military research institute. How can such talents stay outside? They must come to their Wulin Research Institute to shine. The leader heard about this talent. He immediately called the Shenyang military region. After his father-in-law and mother-in-law left safely, Lu Chongjing had already agreed to be transferred with the division commander. When the commander heard that someone was trying to people from him, he would never agree. With the other party and communicating with Lu Chongjing, he agreed to let Lu Chongjing stay at the Wuhan Research Institute for a period of time to learn and communicate with the engineers there. Afterwards, the division commander applied to the military region to award Lu Chongjing the first-class merit, commend him throughout the army, and reward him 1,000 yuan. The reason for awarding so much money is, firstly, to encourage the officers and soldiers below not only to focus on training, but also to study more and use their brains more in their daily lives. Second, it is indeed worth it. According to the feedback from the General Armament Department, Lu Chongjing's report saved at least several years of research time and further enhanced China's weapon strength. If he had made such a great contribution, he would have been awarded a special merit in the Weapon Research Institute. Lu Chongjing looked at Su Mo apologetically. "Wife, I will leave for the Beijing Martial Arts Research Institute tomorrow for exchange and study. It may take about a month. Originally, he could only come back a few nights a week to help take care of the baby, and now he has to be away for such a long time, so the pressure of taking care of the child falls entirely on my wife." Su Mo waved her hand. "It's okay. You can go. And Lulu is very well behaved and doesn't make trouble at night." Seeing his wife like this, Lu Chongjing felt really guilty and a little upset. She was used to his absence, so she thought it was okay for him to leave for a while. "Wife, I will be back as soon as possible. Please don't be reluctant." Sumo looked at him strangely and said, "You need this for work? I understand. Don't worry. From the moment I agreed to marry you, I was prepared to be a military wife. Most of the military wives only see their husbands a few times a year, and the rest of the time they are alone, living alone and raising children alone. Lu Chongjing. Lu Chongjing didn't know what to say, so he could only hug Su Mo and kiss her hard. The night rest period, Lu Chongjing was very clingy. He took the child to the West Room at around 10 o'clock and brought him back at around 1 o'clock. Little N has long been accustomed to having to go to another room to sleep for a while every time his father comes back. On the other hand, was not used to it. He would hum a few words every time he woke up. Fortunately, N was there, and she would comfort him in time, every time. Otherwise, he would have howled so loudly that the whole team would have heard it. N also felt aggrieved. She was a feared devil who everyone thought of, but when she came to this soulless place, not only did she become a baby, but she also had to help take care of the child. It was really depressing. Fortunately, this stupid brother listens to her and is easy to manage, otherwise she would definitely not do it. I hope those two take it easy and don't give her another brother or sister. If they do, she definitely won't help take care of them anymore. The next morning, Lu Chongjing left to catch the train. After Su Mo pushed the child to the Lu family, she went to work with Lu Xiaolan. Su Mo was also afraid that those people would use some dirty tricks, so during this period of time, it would be best for her to go and come back together with Lu Xiaolan. The next day, when they went to work, the aunt and her family were assigned to the worst area. At first, no one noticed it, but after a few days, everyone started to smell the smell. Those who had some thoughts quickly suppressed them. They were still too impatient and had to wait a little longer. Now that they had just divorced, they would definitely not agree so easily. They would wait for half a year before coming back. The aunt also went to the team leader to make a fuss, but the team leader said that someone had to do the job in the bad area, and he was not targeting them. It just happened to be their family's turn during this period. They said made sense, and the aunt had no choice but to endure it. Those of them who were used to farm work were fine, so they could just endure it. But her old son, a lazy man, couldn't stand such heavy work, and he collapsed on the Kong after a few days and couldn't get up. By the team leader Lu Baogua, and was severely criticized by name at the morning meeting. Things were going smoothly on Geng Chongqing's side. Although Luo Cheng was highly vigilant, he had not received any training after all. No one had discovered anything over the years, all thanks to his ability to play crazy and stupid. The people that Lu Chongjing lent to Geng Chongqing were all carefully selected and specially trained by him, so their abilities were naturally beyond doubt. After watching Luo Cheng for a few days, he had a good idea of him. When Luo Cheng once again brought the things to find Luo Yuan, he arrested the two men on the spot and caught them red-handed. Luo Yuan could not deny it. Geng Chongqing applied for a search of Luo Yuan's residence and found more than 20,000 yuan in cash and several small yellow croakers. Add to that the dozens of gold bars Luo Cheng brought with him this time, and Luo Yuan's tenure as director was over. Being caught red-handed, Luo Yuan knew he could not deny it, so he simply admitted the fact that he had embezzled and accepted bribes. As for the matter between Lu Ping and Lu's father, Luo Yuan denied anything. Because Lu Ping hadn't returned for a long time, Luo Yuan even pretended to go to the police station to report the case 2 days ago. Because Luo Yuan had someone above him to protect him, he was only sentenced to a few years of forced labor. At this point, after 9 months of struggle for power, the county government leadership team led by Geng Chongqing had finally won the victory. The new director of the Revolutionary Committee was also a close confidant of Secretary Singh. However, it's not over yet. While escorting Luo Yuan, Luo Cheng and others to the farm for forced labor, Luo Yuan shot and wounded several personnel and escaped with Luo Cheng. The news came back. Luo Yuan's wanted posters were posted everywhere in Qingxi County. When Lu's mother saw this, she collapsed. Luo Yuan even dared to kill public officials. I'm afraid her daughter would have died in his hands a long time ago. Lu Mei and Lu Ping were not close. She was still worried about her life or death. She asked her husband to use his connections to ask the Public Security Bureau to send more people to search for her. Geng Chongqing, having obtained Lu Guangying's evidence, also agreed to help her find Lu Ping. Finally, with the efforts of both parties, Lu Ping's body was found at the bottom of a river, tied with stones. At this time, Lu Ping's original appearance was completely unrecognizable, and the only way she could be recognized was through her clothing. Lu Guangying was the one who went to identify the body, but because the body was too horrific, he did not dare to let his mother and Lu Mei go to see it. Even Lu Guangying had nightmares for several days after reading the film and became seriously ill. Luo Yuan's rampant behavior of escaping and shooting and injuring the personnel angered the leadership team of Shuangshan City and also attracted the attention of Hejiang Province and Jing City. Both sides issued orders at the same time, requiring Shuangshan City to thoroughly investigate the matter. A prisoner in a labor camp was found to have a handgun on him. Was it a mistake, or was there an insider? Where did the gun come from? These must be made clear, otherwise there is no way to guarantee the safety of cadres and the people. At the same time, Jingxi County was also required to strengthen the rectification of the work style and mobilize unemployed young people in the city to go to the countryside to work as production teams. Luo Yuan's 2 children were immediately taken into custody and interrogated repeatedly. Luo Yuan had a violent temper. When he was young, beating and scolding his wife and children was commonplace. The 2 children were particularly afraid of him since they were young, especially after their mother died. They even had some resentment towards Luo Yuan. Also used his daughter's connections to arrange her marriage, so her life was